all while doing more for the planet with clean energy solutions, savings, reliability, personalized service, clean energy, helping local businesses thrive. That's our clean power promise. Learn more at smud.org.
An Australian hiker travels to the American West to walk a wilderness trail.
Wasn't afraid to be out on his own.
But Eric Robinson vanished in the high Uinta Mountains.
I remember thinking, Eric, what were you thinking, mate?
I'm Dave Cawley. Join me on my podcast, Uinta Triangle, where I travel the world to answer the question, what happened to Eric Robinson? Follow Uinta Triangle. That's UINTA Triangle on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen.
Carmichael Dave here, Father's Day, June 15th, and Timber Creek just handed you the perfect gift idea. Now through Father's Day, when you stop by the pro shop, it's buy 2 dozen, get 1 free on select strips on golf balls. Yeah, Z-Star, Q-Star, Soft Deal, all the good stuff. So whether you're shopping for dad, or let's be honest, you are the dad, this is your sign to stock up and get back out there. Best part, you're doing it at Sacramento's top-rated course, Timber Creek and Sierra Pines. Deal ends Father's Day, June 15th. Go get them.
KHD 1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SacktownSports.com and the Sacktown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake.
I got to tell you, Jay, I know we got basketball to talk about, the finals, and some things being thrown around about the Kings. But I thought of you yesterday, Jay. And I want to apologize to any of my neighbors who might have heard me screaming at the TV yesterday. I almost texted you with this, Jay, and I thought, Jay's got better things to do than hear my complaints about baseball. So yesterday, I'm watching the Blue Jays and the A's. And the A's lost, but that's not my issue. They've lost, 17 of 18. We'll have plenty of time to talk about that. That's not my issue. Jay's been a baseball guy a long time. So if Jay says, nah, why are you wrong? I will give up the ghost. But I was furious yesterday. Top of the 7th inning, Jay. Jacob Wilson comes up. Chad Green, I think, was the name of the pitcher. And he hits a ground ball up the middle. He had 3 hits at the time. There's a guy on Toronto named Davis Schneider who's a left fielder second baseman, which tells me he's probably not a very good second baseman. Would you agree with that, Jay?
Pretty much.
Guy who's a left fielder second baseman.
Yeah, I never really heard of that.
Yeah.
Unless you're utility.
He goes to his right, and he kind of dives. It's a nice pickup. It looks like one of those dives where, you know how it is, where he had to dive because he wasn't good enough to just go over and backhand it. So he goes down, dives, gets up, and instead of planting and stepping towards the base, he keeps his feet still, and he flips it over to first base underhand from second base, and it's way up the line. Hit.
Dang.
Hit.
That's a hit?
Yes. That's my issue. There you go. So I'm sitting there looking at that going, really? And, Dallas Braves, it's 4 knocks for Wilson today. I'm like, really? Next hitter is Rooker. He hits a little dribbler left side of the mound. Green comes off the mound, goes to barehanded. Ball goes 14 feet off his hand. And so I'm screaming at the TV, are you going to give me a hit for that too? Scoring decision, hit. I couldn't believe it, Jay. Those are not hits at that level.
I have to see the one off the mound. I have to see, because the pitcher fielded it?
Yes, he ran over and he reached down for it right off his thumb.
If he would have picked it up cleanly and threw it, it would have been out.
Mile, Jay.
So it wasn't like he was on a run and had to throw across the body or nothing.
And he might have taken his eye off a little bit. Like, what is that? What it take to give guys hits in today's baseball?
When you're hitting 221 all season, you might have to. Yeah. I'd have to see the pitcher one first.
All right, but you're with me on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you look at the play-by-play, it's like Wilson single to second base, Rooker single to the pitcher. Like, come on. There was a time, Jay, I'm telling you, I know this is the old man yelling, get off my lawn, but there was a time. Those were not hits, brother.
What, Jay?
Those were not hits.
Don't get them fired up.
It was a beautiful weekend. The weather was nice, a little bit hot, but you got the pool, Whitey. Yeah. Why are you coming in here choosing violence like this, man?
Because I was upset. And Jay was here, and I thought if there's a kindred spirit in the world, it's Jay. And I don't know. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't.
You had to get it off your chest. Hey, man,
As a player, though, You want that kind of, you take those hits, right?
You know how to hits.
100%.
Yeah. It's a funny thing. If you're a scorekeeper, is that a hit or an error? If you say hit, 2 people are happy. The fielder's happy, no error. The hitter's happy.
Yep.
You go error, then you got 2 people unhappy.
Yes.
So maybe that's part of it. I'm going to say hit. I don't want to upset anybody.
I got to come in late more often, man.
Leagues. It's major league.
You never know what you're
baseball.
going to walk into when you walk up in this studio.
Yeah.
This was the last conversation I expected.
Yeah.
But this was bothering you,
It
clearly.
did bother me. It
Okay,
did. It's Major League Baseball. Because it's a hit or an error. Should an average major leaguer be able to make that play?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's an error.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
He's got their own problems. But how are you today, Drapes?
Not good. Can I choose some violence? I'm pissed off right
Your
now.
turn. It's your turn.
It was a great
But
weekend.
I got real reasons to be upset. Not about from what I see on TV. Sorry, I'm late. First of all,
Okay.
I will say this, Jay. I need my music, and that should be on cue 100% of the time, Jay.
First of all, it is. Give me a half of a second. Just one half of a second.
Take it easy. We got to have a talk, ladies and gentlemen, about drive-through etiquette in this country. We know there's some great things about the United States of America, some things that we can improve on.
Yeah.
But one thing that needs to be done better, we need to start thinking about others. And that's excluding me coming in on time. That's a different story, right? That's a separate category.
Right.
I would have been here on time if not for the lady in the Starbucks drive-thru right around the block from the station.
So this is someone in a car ahead of you?
In the car ahead of me.
All right.
So whenever I go to Starbucks, I place my order beforehand, Whitey. I'm a mobile guy. Let me pat, put it in. Drive up, should be ready. So I go to the drive-thru, I peek around the corner. Looks empty. I might as well just go through the drive-thru to pick it up. But there was one car in line I didn't see. I'm like, how long could one car take?
Right.
How long do you think that one car took?
Sounds like
15 minutes.
Come on, you wasn't timing it.
Yes, I was, Jay. I pulled up at 1:45. By the time I got here, it was 2:02. Here's the thing. There needs to be a maximum drinks allowed in the drive-thru in our country. And whether it's McDonald's, too. Like, if you're in the McDonald's line, you can't be ordering 8 meals. You can't be doing that. And conversely, if you're in the Starbucks line, Jay and Whitey, guess how many drinks this lady ordered?
7.
And
I was going to say 8.
Keep it up. Keep going.
Oh, so see, for the whole
11
office.
drinks in the drive-thru line.
Yeah.
I'm pissed off about that. No, because I asked the barista when I got to the window. I said, something ain't right here. She had 7 drinks. She said, no, she ordered 11. And here's the problem with that. Order whatever you want. But that's why they got mobile ordering. So you order ahead. Do that a half hour early. Bang, 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 and it's ready. Don't pull up in the drive-thru line and order at the window 11 freaking drinks.
So you would pull up at Starbucks at 1:45?
Yeah, that's early for me. That's early.
You're right on time.
Because then that gets me here at about 1:50. I got 10 minutes to spare. I come in, now I'm all sweaty and everything. But seriously, do y'all feel me though on this though?
I get what you're saying.
There has to be a maximum drinks allowed. Because the problem is, all right, I get it. You want to get your coworkers some drinks. You want to, get employee of the month and things like that. I get that. But what about the people behind you? What about, if you go in the drive-thru, that must mean time is of the essence.
So you're saying that it should be a drive-through limit?
Yes. 4 drinks. 4. Or at least put it in mobile. Don't drive up there. And then they got to make them from scratch, Whitey. It ain't like they just pull down the little handle and give you your lemonade right from the jump. They got to mix it up. They're baristas for a reason.
Well, what they need to do is, ma'am, we're going to have your order right out for you.
Go pull around. Go
I
there.
don't think it's on her.
But it took her 8 minutes to order. I'm like,
because you gotta have the language. And
decaf
with a little bit of brown sugar.
I need a shot
milk.
of this and 5 pumps of that, and I was heated because this is the second time in a row I've gone to the Starbucks drive-thru right around the corner here, Expo Boulevard, and it's made me late. Now I know I gotta get my priorities straight, Whitey, Jay, and everybody listening. I know I gotta be here on time, but I time my life out. My life is planned out from now through the rest of the day. I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You're doing it at 8:36 tonight.
I should be home. I'm going to hit some balls after work. I should be home, just finishing dinner, putting the dishes in the dishwasher, and about to settle in. You understand my frustration, though, right?
Oh, I think everyone does.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. Yeah. So, when you ask me how am I doing, I was great. I was fantastic before the lady in the Subaru Forester in front of me.
But you got your drink.
Nah, man, but I'm all sweaty now because I was rushing in here. I was trying to get here on time and everything. I'm running up the steps and everything. Usually, I get here at about 1:54. I go say hi to Kyle Ledbetter in the back for 2 minutes. I watch you and Alan chop it up.
Mm-hmm. You're always invited.
Yakety yak.
How come Kyle's not in here?
Because I don't. It's the thing now between me and Alan. It really is. Like doing the crossover with Alan. It's almost like succumbing to his wishes, if you will.
Oh,
I know it irks him a little bit, so I'm gonna keep hitting him. So that's my take for the day. There needs to be some sort of drive-through etiquette. 4 drinks minimum or maximum. Same thing with ordering at McDonald's, Burger King's, In-N-Out, Wendy's. And another thing, I went to In-N-Out the other day. Why does it take so long there? Why is the drive-through so long?
Because they have so many items on the menu.
I know, right? Dude,
those 11 items.
Those things got to be pre-made or something, right? Like and so I went to In-N-Out the other night, and I understand it's a Saturday night. It's bumping out there. So I decide, you know what? I'm going to go inside and order. Nobody at the counter. Still took me 15 minutes. What happened to fast food? Mm-hmm. So we got to do a better job in this country getting people in and out when it comes to fast food. Got to be quick. 5 minutes max.
So if it's more than, they got to have a sign there. If you want more than 4 items, you got to go inside.
Yeah. Or like you and Jay said, hey, excuse me, go like that's why McDonald's got the waiting list.
You have a ton of people here that are behind you on this.
100%.
I can't go there with.
So hold up.
And I'm sorry you had struggled today.
A called hit in baseball set you off, but your boy waiting in line in Starbucks late for the show.
I understand your frustration. That's unfortunate, but I think this enacting of this maximum is, to me, it's an overreach. While I am compassionate.
You must not be a drive-through guy.
Most people are there. There's a lot of people that are with you.
I will say this, Drapes.
Yeah.
In-N-Out, this is going to get me crucified. And I've said this before. Highly overrated. Highly overrated.
Dude.
To the point, I have no clue why people are sitting 2 corners around the corner to get them paper mache fries. Have no clue why people are so tied to In-N-Out.
And I'll go on top of that, Jay.
I'll put another one out there too after you.
Yeah, and I'll say this about In-N-Out.
Let me get the potential sponsors.
Yeah, I know. In-N-Out ain't spending money with us. I already tried.
They ain't worried about it.
A good burger, you should be able to taste the burger.
Sure.
In-N-Out, they got so much other crap you can't, and their patties are so thick you can't even taste the burger. Go ahead, Jay. What else? We've been going off right.
Yeah, this one. I actually had some of the weekend I was going to bring up to you guys. We're not going to start the show with 3 gripes in a row.
Know, right?
We'll save it for down the road today because I have another one. I was going to text you guys this weekend. We need to start a gripes a day thing or something.
I like that. I got something every day on that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep. We got a gripe about this Sabonis Raptors talk. We'll get to that. Find out more about what's eating Jay when we come back to Sacktown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy, and oh my goodness, I'm born and raised here. I know it gets hot, but my goodness, we're already seeing 100-degree days. Listen to me. You do not want your system to conk out in the middle of June or July or August with one of those big 100-degree stretches. You want to make sure you're good all summer long. And my friends at American Energy Heating and Air can do that with a $24.50 tune-up right now. That's half price. And if you need a new system, $3,500 off, up to $3,500 off in rebates for qualified systems. They've been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call them right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Hagen Oaks Cutting Edge Putter Fitting Studio offers you more technology, more choices, and more service. Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. With $30,000 worth of state-of-the-art technology ready for your fitting, Hagen Oaks will help you make your best putting stroke while finding the best putter design, shape, hosel, length, and loft for your game. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for more.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
I don't mean to continue to harvest the negative vibes here, but as Kings fans, what are we doing? What is going on? You know, we have this vacuum of information on the Kings. We've talked about this. Nothing going on yet that we know of. So what happens? This vacuum is created anytime there's anything that comes out that's remotely related to the Kings. It gets sucked into the vacuum. And then people start talking about, now it's Domas and the Raptors. Have you heard about this?
No, I have not. I missed
nothing
this
to
one.
it, so don't misunderstand me. But it's, first of all, you had Windhorst recently reported that the Raptors are looking to add a big-name player on the trade market this offseason. Okay, and there's talk now that there's some mutual interest there between the Raptors and Giannis, which may be something.
Okay, yeah.
Then we also had Jake Weinbach.
I'm just now seeing this tweet. Go ahead, explain it. What happened?
Reporting that the Raptors could be eyeing Domantas Sabonis this summer. The Raptors are one team to keep an eye on in a potential pursuit for Domas if the Kings decide to shift in a different direction. Toronto should explore all kinds of different avenues to upgrade the roster with playoff contention in mind next season. So we got a could in there.
Should.
If they decide this, we're better than that, Drapes. As Kings fans, we're better than that.
No, is it Kings fans or it is Yahoo Jake Weinbach? You're saying don't put stock into what he,
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
Yeah, everybody, all the above. Because I know some Kings fans are, what about this? Why? What are we going to get? Who are we going to get from the Raptors? And it's just a little, at the very least, premature.
Well, and I'm going to give some advice to Kings fans because I hear you, Whitey, and I agree 100%. Social media, Twitter especially, and I know you still like calling it X. I'm not an X guy. I'll still call it Twitter. It's a cesspool right now. So when somebody puts something out, the first thing I look at is, all right, who's this Yahoo? Who is this guy? Jake Weinbach, NBA. Of course, he got to throw an NBA at the back of his Twitter handle to just, add a little credibility.
I got to admit, it works.
So, NBA analyst and writer covering the league since 2019. Whoa. So, this guy been around. He been around. This guy. Formerly, Hoops Habit, Behind the Bucks. Featured on ESPN Radio, Sports Illustrated, NBC Sports.
Which means that sometimes they call him up on the weekend, and he's nice enough to go on with
Exactly.
them. And that's fine. That's good.
And his location is Dallas, Texas. Now, if he was in Toronto, Canada, I'd give him some more credence. And not only that, Whitey, who do you think Jake Weinbach works for right now?
I don't know.
Well, he don't know either because he don't have it in his Twitter handle. It's formerly Hoops Habit, formerly Behind the Bucks. So when I see people put stuff like that out there, I'm a little skeptical.
Right.
It's a guy, maybe he heard from somebody in the barber shop or in the grocery store. There's not much there. So Kings fans, don't get all up in arms to Whitey's point about some report on social media on Twitter that's paper thin.
Yeah.
Toilet paper thin.
Consider the source.
Consider the source.
And Drapes, to your point, he never actually says he heard anything.
Right.
He says Raptors are a team to keep an eye on. I think they should look at a lot of things. And if the Kings decide to go in a different direction, maybe they talk to the Raptors.
Yeah, that's bad. That's pretty bad. This is a glorified fan right here, and no offense to fans or anything like that, but you're right, Whitey. He says the Raptors are one team to keep an eye on. You could say that about anybody, right?
Try to keep my eye.
I'm keeping my eye on Charlotte. I'm keeping my eye on. And so, yeah, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, Kings fans. Don't fall for the chum in the water. This guy is trying to get aggregated. He's trying to go viral off of our boy Domantas Sabonis' name.
I got another one for you.
Oh, shoot. Go ahead. I'm going to look this person up, too. Who you got?
This person was nice enough to come on the station today.
He wasn't on our show then.
He wasn't on our show.
Okay.
But Yossi Goslin.
How do you spell that?
Y-O, I think it's S-I, and then it's Gozzlan. And he's a capologist. Thirdapron.com, capsheets.com. In all fairness to Yossi Goslin, he is not saying this is a rumor. He's looking at the cap situations and saying, here's a trade that might happen. So that's a little different. I think it's incumbent upon us as fans to look at that and go, okay. New Orleans trading to Sacramento. McCollum, Hawkins, 26 first, 28 first rounder, 2030 first.
Come on.
They save $8 million. New Orleans gets back Domantas Sabonis.
So before Drapes, just slow down.
Go ahead. You know I'm about to go
I
off.
already know. Before Drapes goes crazy, is he just saying he's just picking this out of the blue? Is he?
Well, he's looking at the numbers, and again, he was on today, and I didn't hear it. I know he was on with Kyle and Alan, and he does know about
he's a cap guy.
And again, he's not saying I'm hearing this is happening.
Right.
He's just like, hey, this
he just
makes
tried
sense
it
from a cap standpoint.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But to me, and bless him for coming on with this. I think we may have had him on. This doesn't make sense from any standpoint to me. Drapes, why in the world is New Orleans going to do that?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And all right, I'm going to sit this one out. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to. How is this guy getting a forum?
He's a capologist.
No,
I'm a capologist.
What does that actually mean, Jay? This guy, he got the trade machine in his basement? Like, what does that actually mean? There's so many. You know what it is like, fellas? It's like when a player gets injured and then all these doctors show up on social media trying to diagnose
who have never actually.
And so
here's to answer your question. An ologist is someone who studies a branch of learning or is an expert in a specific field. So he studies the cap or is an expert. So that's why he's a capologist. He studies the cap.
All right.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying.
I'm tired of it, man. And Kings
Don't
fans.
get tired of it now. It's only June 2nd.
No, because here's the thing, man. People can put anything out there, and all of a sudden it becomes a topic. It becomes aggregated. It becomes talked about. You go on Alan Styles' show. You know what? I'm going to put – if I didn't work for the organization, that's a way to get clicks right there. Oh, something to keep an eye on. Giannis. DeMar, Domas, and 3 first round. You can put anything you want. I can't do that because I'm a team employee and I'm a respectable journalist, I might add. Like, there's too much speculation. And Yossi could do whatever the hell he wants. Go for it. But to give him a platform, I'm going to stick to my Shams. I'm going to stick to my, who's the other, Bobby Marks, That's my capologist I pay attention to. No offense to Yossi.
Wait.
Nah,
so
man.
why you got love for Bobby Marks, but you don't have love for Eric Pincus or Yossi
I got Eric Pincus
or Nate
different.
Duncan?
No, Nate Duncan been doing this 20 years.
Okay.
Eric Pincus been doing this 20 years. Yossi and the other dude just started in 2019. Come on, man. These dudes, if you haven't started before the new CBA, I ain't listening to you. I'm not listening to you.
Where are you now with Kevin O'Connor? Did you hear what he posted? This guy. And it's not a trade rumor.
And I'm starting to question his credentials a little bit, but go ahead.
What he posted, quote, trading Cat should be priority number one for the Knicks.
I saw that. And I don't even know if the final buzzer had gone off before he tweeted that out. Because I saw that as soon as the game was over. I'm like, damn. That's first of all, I don't think the Knicks should do anything. Maybe tighten up the bench a little bit, something like that. But you just got Cat 1 year.
I know. They went to the conference finals. As Jay pointed out, and give Indiana all the credit in the world. They deserve it. They're going to the finals. But if game 1 goes differently, which it really could have.
Right.
Yeah. Who knows?
Right.
Yeah. My point isn't, the Knicks are better than the Pacers. My point is the Knicks should hardly be panicking right now.
Right. Exactly. Who did we have on? Was it Eddie Johnson last week that talked about patience
it was.
And building something?
It was.
Like, I'm of the belief when you talk about the New York Knicks, let's say they decide to run it back. Maybe a couple of tweaks, bolster the bench a little bit. You can't tell me that Cat and Jalen Brunson in year 2 won't have better chemistry than they did this year. And let's not forget, Whitey.
That trade was made very late.
Very late. In
Very
camp,
late.
like the start of camp, media day, basically. And so they didn't even have a full off season. If I'm the Knicks, I'm not panicking. There's a reason why you traded for Mikal Bridges. There's a reason why you traded for Karl Anthony Towns. I'm okay if I'm the Knicks running it back.
So that's not your number one priority if you're the Knicks?
Not
trading Cat?
Trading Cat. And here's the thing, Whitey. They were 3rd in the Eastern Conference. That's a pretty damn good season.
Mm-hmm.
Now you build on that. You don't blow it up or make a huge trade. This is what I'm talking about, man. The social mediaization of sports.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's a story that there may be something to.
All right.
We'll examine that when we come back. This comes from a much more reliable source. Mutual interest between Giannis and what team? Next, Sacktown Sports.
A Valley Strong Credit
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Giant Summer Sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers, and sometimes it's an overworked accountant.
who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft chews, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, girl.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Look for Mirafast at Walmart today. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
Side. Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
We just talked to Kyle Ledbetter. He says Yossi was a good guest today, and he's a smart guy, Drapes. So just he came on the station today. We appreciate that.
Okay.
I just don't know.
Yeah.
We're going to get much traction with that whole thing. Here is a legitimate, if not a trade rumor, definitely something that is reporting from Brian Windhorst.
Yes,
right?
Brian Windhorst. Okay.
Yeah. He has reported that the Raptors are looking to add a big-name player on the trade market this offseason. I don't want to get too far afield on this, but since this has come up, Raptors are a team that is starting to make noise within the league about looking for a big fish. Toronto, I think, is going to try from their initial conversations. Teams in the league are getting the impression that Toronto is going to try to do something. So he stopped short of actually mentioning any names, but there are multiple reports that there is mutual interest between Giannis and the Toronto Raptors. Again, not saying they're talking about a trade is imminent, but mutual interest being reported widely between Giannis and the Toronto Raptors. How about that?
That's I'm trying to figure out exactly why. Does Giannis have any relationships with any of the players or anything like that? Are him and Ingram tight, or him and Scotty Barnes tight, or something like that?
Yeah, it's a great
maybe
question.
because it's an international city, maybe a place he would like to live. I don't know, but if I'm the Raptors, I'd probably go all in on Giannis, just because, as we've seen, the East is kind of wide open. Last year, the Celtics. This year, the Pacers. A few years ago, who was it? Miami. And so it's, I think the East is wide open. And if you're the Raptors, you get Giannis, you rocket right back up into relativity.
And the mutual interest is being reported by Doug Smith, who writes for the Toronto
That's my guy, Doug
Star.
Smith. And
He's
Doug
the one-
Smith
yes.
don't engage in social media engagement farming like that. He's legit.
Yeah.
We got to get Doug on there.
He says, that's a quote, mutual interest. He says, it doesn't mean it's going to happen, but he says, I can tell you there's mutual interest there. Wow. From someone who would know.
And they have the assets from what everybody's saying, picks and all that. Because if I'm Milwaukee, they got some young players that I wouldn't mind having back. Can you get, let's say you start with an RJ Barrett, and obviously 3, 4, 5 first-round picks included in that, a Grady Dick you want to throw in there or something like that, maybe a Quickly. I don't know, but they got some pieces where they can move off if you're Toronto.
Real fast, shouts out to Kyle Ledbetter. I had to make sure that we can, I don't want Drapes to say, where's the sources on this? We had to triple check. So going back and forth, looking at a couple different spots. Masai Ujiri helped Giannis and his family obtain Greek citizenship years ago. So it's a family. They're connected. They're family friends, And it says, I'm reading an article on Yahoo from your boy, D. Smith, a couple years ago. Someone aggregated his article stating that Masai tried to draft Giannis years ago. Didn't work. But they're tied to the hip as forever, I guess, just based on, helping the family and everything. So
thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Jay. Here's what Doug Smith says. He says the wild card is the cost, and this is a Toronto beat writer, right? He covers the Raptors.
Yeah. Raptors, Doug Smith, yes.
He says, I think the Raptors are uniquely placed to make an attractive offer that won't ruin their franchise or roster. I would make the case that a logjam at the wings makes them deep enough, even if they had to pay even two out of Grady Dick, Ochai Agbaji, and Jacoby Walter, RJ Barrett, Jonathan Mobo would still be enough to fill out a pretty good team. So anyway, yeah, there appears to be something actually to that.
And their big three would be Scotty Barnes, Giannis, and Ingram, I guess, with the package. Where I don't know if you send Ingram back out. But no, if I'm Toronto, this is the way to get back to relevancy, right?
Yeah, plus they have all their picks, so giving a first rounder every year for, say, 4 years leaves enough.
I'm doing that 100%. I know Giannis is getting up there a little bit, but he's still a top 3 player in the league, top 3 MVP candidate. And you put him alongside of Scotty Barnes. And then if Ingram said, you got arguably the longest team in the league. I mean, you got even a guy like Scotty Barnes listed as 6'7", his wingspan is up there around 7 feet. So I'm doing that if I'm Toronto.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look also at the Windhorse report that we just talked about. Looks like Toronto's one of those teams right now that looks like, okay, we've been kind of accumulating assets. We want to make our move now. Doesn't mean it'll work. Doesn't mean they'll be able to. But they're a team that looks like they're determined to do something big this offseason. Maybe the biggest move of them all. Giannis to the north.
And I think it would be a perfect fit. Kyle talked about the Masai Ujiri connection, Toronto, an international city. I could see Giannis thriving. He's in Milwaukee now. Short jump up to Toronto in terms of weather, pretty much the same, I would say. So, I mean, it makes sense if you're Toronto.
If you were Giannis or any player in a similar position, how important would it be, if it would be important at all, to stay in the East? I mean, if you're trying to get back to the finals, and there's a lot of factors, but I would think a lot of people are suggesting anyway that, he probably wants to stay in the East. Do you think that would matter to you? If you were recommending, if you were advising Giannis, would you say, look, you want to stay out of the West, that meat grinder if you can?
I mean, I think so. I
do too.
Because look at it. No offense to our boy Tyrese Halliburton, but they just went to the NBA Finals with Tyrese being the best player. This is Giannis we're talking about. Like, outside of Boston, who knows what's going to happen with them going forward? Cleveland, you could beat Cleveland. Like, there's not much competition. There's some good teams, but the gauntlet in the West with Jokic and Ant and LeBron, all the names, hell yeah, I'm going to stand in the East.
Yeah, especially given what may be going on in Boston, where they may be kind of rearranging some things.
I'll tell you who else. If I'm Kevin Durant, I'm trying to get back to the East because he's getting long in the tooth. His career is winding up here. Your best chance at advancing to the finals is in the Eastern Conference.
You don't want to go play with an Ant, the guy who idolizes you, and be the missing piece for the Wolves?
Nah, I don't think so. If I'm Ant, I want Kevin Durant, but I think there's better options out there for him.
I think the Kings are going to have to wait till a lot of this stuff figures itself out.
Yeah. Dude, somebody from the 530. I'm the girl from Starbucks. I had put my order in on mobile order and Draper is lying. It was only 9 drinks. Totally lies here on the text line, Whitey. Total lies. The barista told me it was 11 drinks and I saw your order at the window. Because if you do mobile, you just say, hey, I'm Kyle. I got in a mobile order. And they say, drive right up. She was in that line for like 8 minutes. Come on now.
I have a feeling the girl from Starbucks would not describe herself as, I'm the
girl from Starbucks, right? Somebody out here trolling me. All right, I see it. So hold up. Your statement before all this was the Kings are sort of having a wait and see kind of.
If they want to do a lot of stuff, I think a lot of teams are waiting before they do anything to see where
Giannis
everything ends up,
KD.
where the big fish end up swimming to.
You might be right by that, but let me throw something else out at you. I forget, Jake Weinbach and all those, people. Is this smoke around Sabonis? And is this a sign that maybe there is a little more to it? Not saying those deals that people are talking about, but is this shocking to you that now we're getting some Sabonis smoke being out there?
it's not because it seems so insubstantial. It's not even, sources say that he's not sure he wants to. It doesn't say anything like that.
Okay.
So, I mean, if unless and until I hear something like that, why, what are you saying, Kyle? You have some inside information?
No, I have nothing.
Ooh.
I have zero. And matter of fact, I thought I need to start getting back at the facility when they have these guys work out and everything, the young rookies coming in to work out, just to be around the guys. I don't know anything, dude. I've unplugged, especially this last weekend, man. My daughter was sick. I was taking care of her. You got to catch me up on all this. But I haven't heard anything regarding Sabonis.
But let's say Toronto might have interest in Domas. You don't know that they do. But to my point, if they're going to pursue Giannis, we might want to ask you about Domas, but we got to see if we get Giannis.
Right.
So it just speaks to how the Kings potentially have to wait for all those other things to settle.
Yeah, you're right. And, regarding Giannis, there's probably 20 teams in the league that are interested in trying to make a play. And so those assets probably are tied up. And you're right about that. It's and the same thing with DeMar we talked about too. It's like you got all these big fish. Let's see where they go. And then everybody else that's left over and struck out on getting them, let's see if you can strike a deal there.
Some people see him as a plan C or D for teams that are looking for, can't get Giannis. All right, we'll get KD. Can't get KD. All right, well, what about DeMar DeRozan? So,
yeah, it's.
I don't agree with that, but a lot of people see it that way.
Right. And, but there are some teams, Whitey, I feel like, who aren't in on the Giannis sweepstakes. I don't think Orlando's in on, let's say, the Giannis. And so I'm still of the belief DeMar would be a perfect fit for them. He would be excellent for them out there in Orlando. And so we got 3 weeks left until the draft or whatever it is. I know we need it to happen soon. And then think about it like this, Whitey. Free agency, less than a month now, July 1.
Yeah.
So things are starting to happen. It's going to start to happen quickly here.
That's when things start to happen. Eventually, finally, yeah. Meanwhile, we're getting ready for the NBA Finals. This year's NBA Finals are going to be what? Fill in the blank for us next on Sacktown Sports.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia. I got a tour of their headquarters. I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-212-2828. 800-212-2828. That's 800-212-2828.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-837-5050. That's 800-837-5050. 800-837-5050.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
At SMUD, we power business with incentives, strategic account advisors, 50% lower rates, and clean energy solutions. We help businesses thrive. That's our clean power promise. Learn more at smud.org.
Hi, Sacramento. It's the No Surprise Guys at Bell Brothers Plumbing and Air Conditioning. Is your AC on the fritz? Call Bell Brothers. Looking to replace your old unit with a 0% financing and no payments for 12 months on approved credit? Call Bell Brothers. We're fast, reliable, and respect your time by showing up when we say we will. The price we quote is the price you pay. We are the No Surprise Guys. Call today to get a free estimate on a new HVAC system, or simply schedule your $87 AC Precision tune-up to keep your system running smoothly. With more technicians, more trucks, and more experience, we get the job done right the first time. No surprises. Our technicians are all background checked, drug tested, and will leave the work area cleaner than they found it. Don't wait. Call Bell Brothers today or book online at nosurpriseguys.com. That's nosurpriseguys.com.
I want you to be mine again, baby. I know my lifestyle is driving you crazy.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Yeah, you got something you got to get off your chest here. It's kind of been the theme of the show. We haven't heard from Jay yet. We haven't heard Jay's gripe, Jay's complaint.
Got anything, Jay?
Yeah, I do, but I mean, you know,
save it a little bit.
We've been fired off, man. We've been Yosemite Sam today. I think we'll spread it out maybe the 3-4 o'clock hour.
All right. Hang on to that.
Yeah, because I definitely have something to get off my chest.
This year's NBA Finals are going to be what? Fill in the blank. How about Campy jumps right in there. He says, exciting.
Yeah.
The two teams are athletic, led by young stars. Might be the best series in a long time. How about you, Drake?
No, I'm looking forward to this one, man. I think it's going to be thrilling. I think, the games will be close. I got OKC winning, but in terms of the action up and down the floor, I think it's going to be a great series.
Mm-hmm. I have two. I think one, it's fun. It's going to be fun, but I also think it's going to be short. I don't think Indiana's going to – certainly I don't think it's going to go 7, maybe 6.
Is this that big of a mismatch here?
I think it is. Maybe I'm wrong. I know they're heavy favorites. That doesn't mean anything. I just don't think Indiana has played anybody so far in the postseason that defends as well as OKC does.
That's true.
But they make their threes.
Yeah.
And
you can argue OKC hasn't played an offense high powered before. It's, I to your point, OKC, man, they just come in waves at you. They're great defensively. They don't give up. I just don't know if the Pacers have enough firepower. Like the Neesmiths of the world are going to have to be great, I think, for Indiana to have a chance. If it goes 6, I'm happy.
And is a great player.
Yeah.
He struggled against OKC's defense. As Tim Legler pointed out, he faced 2 or 3 great defenders, not only in the course of a game, but sometimes in the course of one possession.
Yeah.
So Lou Dort on Halliburton's like, you ain't seen nothing like
Yeah, you
me
ain't seen nothing.
for 7 games or 6 games or however long we're going to play.
Yeah, I think
Caruso.
Forgot about Caruso. I think Rick Carlisle is going to have to earn his money here because he's going to have to figure out a way, like you said, with Lou Dort, to get Tyrese Halliburton in the open floor, get him, some space to operate. I mean, Lou Dort's going to be draped all over him, and be very physical with him as well. I do think, of the remaining 4 teams that there were, to me, this is the most exciting matchup. Just the styles, they both, high energy guys, get after you defensively. 2 of the young best point guards in the league. You got role players. Pascal Siakam, to me, one of the most underrated players. And so I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, and both teams are so young and relatively inexpensive by NBA standards. It's a far cry from what we typically think of seeing in the finals.
Yeah, and I know there's this story going around about how, building a champion isn't about having the most stars anymore. You look at these teams, Tyrese, I guess, is a star, and then you look on, OKC, Shea's a star, but after that, you got very, very, very good others on this team. And so this might be the blueprint going forward. It's not, trying to be Phoenix and let me get 3 Hall of Famers on one team, or the Lakers, let me get LeBron and Luka. Now it might be, let me get like 8, 9, 10 hungry dogs out there, if you will.
Now, you gave the Draper seal of approval to Doug Smith, right?
Yes, that's my guy.
All right, looks like he'll be hopping on with us today at 4:30.
Oh, you don't? Okay, Jay actually working back there. I see you, Jay. That's what I'm talking.
The Toronto
Doug Smith is
Star, I think, is the name of the paper.
Toronto
that he works
Star.
for, covering the Raptors. So we'll find out what he thinks about Giannis and the Raptors and Domas and the Raptors. I don't think there's anything there, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
Speaking of Domas, I think there's something that a lot of people are missing, and I'm talking about the people that are just pulling their hair out and gnashing their teeth over, oh no, you've got Halliburton going to the finals. Kings had him. That could have been the Kings going to the finals. Look, I was against the trade when it happened. The Kings certainly did benefit from it in the short term, but it's not like Halliburton didn't get to the finals by himself, Drapes.
Nah,
He's a really
he did,
good player.
Whitey. Nah, he did, Whitey.
What?
He did.
What?
Because I'm going back when the trade was made, and I thought about this yesterday, and I thought about it watching the game this weekend and everything. And everybody's tweeting, well, it wasn't the trade. It was what Indiana did after the trade.
It was all of it.
Here's the thing.
He wasn't even MVP of the conference finals.
Anything, but what Indiana did after the trade does not happen unless you get Tyrese Halliburton.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, Pascal Siakam, Whitey, had a choice. Sacramento, Indiana. He said, I want to go play with Tyrese Halliburton. And so, I understand there's some others, but he changed the culture of the franchise. He changed free agency, trades, made him a destination, as Sham said. And so it's all, in my opinion, because of Tyrese Halliburton. And people say, well, if Tyrese was here, Kings would have botched it. If Tyrese was here, the argument could be made Pascal Siakam wants to come here. That's why this hurts so much, because this isn't about Tyrese Halliburton failing to win Eastern Conference Final Player of the series or anything.
No, I know.
This is about
kidding about
him being a lightning rod, attracting others. That's what we have not had in Sacramento. I don't remember the last time we had a guy where somebody said, I want to go play with him.
I know he wasn't named the most valuable player, and I understand why, but I think he was. So I'm with you. I'm kidding. Siakam had bigger numbers, but let's not kid ourselves. Halliburton was the most valuable player in the series.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
thought,
get it because he had some bad games. But.
Yeah, I thought, you could go either way. Like, the case could be made for Siakam, and it was close. What was it, 5-4 or something like that? So it was extremely close. I'm not going to get up in arms about it. I mean, I know Tyrese thought he was getting that award, so he was all ready to accept the trophy. But, I thought Pascal was huge. And when you look at Tyrese, people are looking at the second half of Game 6, whereas Pascal, that first half, came out ready to ball. And so I don't have any concerns or gripes with that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't either. But I do think people are getting a little too bent out of shape over the Halliburton trade. It's done. I know. I didn't think they should have made it when they made it, but it's done now. What are you going to do?
Whitey,
You're not going to watch the game?
Come on now.
You're going to watch the game and go, oh.
Yes. Dog, Portland's still upset that they didn't draft Michael Jordan and they drafted Sam Bowie. We still talk about that.
We just got over the whole Luka thing. In the Beam Team year, it's like, okay, well, that was bad, but it doesn't matter. And now we got to, Halliburton. It's done. It's like Scott Perry said today. The past is the past. You move on with a positive attitude. Good luck with that.
Very, very timely tweet for what Scott Perry out there today. And I hear you. For our own state of mind, Kings fans, our own mental health, we should probably let it go. But it's hard.
Oh, I know.
It's hard. Because here's the thing. And I thought this the other day. After they won, celebrate. Okay, you win. That's great. But then he took to social media. Did you see the video him and his camp posted on social media with the song I Run New York? They clipped up a video of some of his best highlights and throughout the 50 Cent song, I Run New York. And I'm just like, that's the kind of swag I feel like we need. We need somebody that can go into New York, kick their butt, and then tell them he kicked their butt.
The other side of it is it's not like they didn't get anything for him.
That's true.
I would not have made the trade, and I keep saying that. I have the receipts, but still, people act like they just gave Halliburton away.
No,
people weren't complaining. The last 2 years, people weren't complaining about the Halliburton trade.
No, they weren't. They weren't. And we got Domas, and Domas ain't chopped liver. You know what I mean? Domas is, a top 5 big in the game right now. And so I get it. Here's the thing. If Halliburton led his team to a first round, second round, and that's it, we're not talking about this. But back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals, NBA Finals, it's like, yeah. With us not sniffing the playoffs for 2 straight years, that's where it hurts. We need to get to the postseason.
Yeah. And he's got that charisma, and he's likable, except to the teams that he doesn't like. He's a villain.
Yes.
He's got that high profile. Oh, well, it happens.
But here's the no, Whitey, you can't do that.
It happens.
You can't do that.
You have to move on and go, all right, and accept it. Otherwise, what are you going to do?
No, we ain't moved on from 2002 yet. We still heated over every year.
Helping me with that.
But here's the thing. We're talking about having a guy, trying to find a guy, a person to uplift when we had it.
Okay.
It's hard, man. It's hard.
You're right.
The wounds are still fresh too, Whitey. How many years has it been? 3? 2022, I think the trade was. It's still fresh out there, And so I get it. It happened. Move on, especially because it's a new regime, Scott Perry and everything like that.
Right.
But when you look at it, we had the guy. Sure, we made the playoffs, Whitey, but trading Halliburton might set us back a few years.
Oh, well.
When it's all
Here
said
we
and
are.
done.
Here we are. The Luka thing wasn't great either, but they made the playoffs after that. So that's your choice. It makes me sad to think people might not watch, or they'll have a hard time watching Halliburton. I'd celebrate Halliburton. I wish he was still here, but man,
are you rooting for Halliburton? Like, or not? Maybe not rooting, but
yeah, absolutely. I've always liked him.
I'm with you
before they
too.
even drafted him.
I'm with you too. I want this guy to succeed. I want him to because he didn't ask to be traded. It'd be different if he demanded out or something like that.
Makes it hard,
right? That's what makes it harder. Like I could see De'Aaron Fox. He kind of forced his hand. All right, giving him booze. What did Tyrese do? Tyrese ain't do nothing wrong. Didn't do anything to, make us upset at him. So I'm cheering for the dude.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a rough series for him. Nothing against him. I just think OKC is, they're just a well-oiled machine at both ends of the floor.
But
it's the defensive end that's going to make the big difference.
Are we not giving the Pacers enough credit? They had the second best record in the league since January 1, Whitey, behind OKC. These were the top 2 teams in 2025. I think that, I'm not saying they'll win, but I'm wondering, are we overlooking them a little bit or underplaying them? Like, not giving them
7? Because I think it goes 6 at most.
I think 6. And 6 is a very respectable series.
Sure.
Very respectable.
On yeah.
Just don't get swept. Which is possible. I don't know, man. I want every series to go 7. I want every game to be great. And so hopefully the Pacers, it would be nice if they came out and stole game 1.
Yeah.
Then that would change everything.
They got a little knack for that too.
Yep.
These NBA finals proves that you don't have to spend to be playing at the end. Drive guys all over that. Coming up. Don't go away.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads, great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage, weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans, also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke. Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I gotta get business cards printed for my entire staff, but where do I even?
That was easy.
Oh, okay, Staples. But can I have bigger stuff printed too, like huge signs and banners?
That was easy.
Nice. And what if I had to ship a package?
That was easy.
Have my passport photo taken?
That was easy.
Coffee and snacks?
That was easy.
What about the latest laptops?
That was
Earbuds
easy.
and headphones?
That was
Office
easy.
chairs?
That was easy.
I think I also need to get some Staples.
Seriously?
I had to ask.
For everything your business needs to get the job done.
Staples. That was easy.
Summer's almost here, and so are popsicles, pool days, and a lot of smiling. Make sure your kiddo's smile is ready with a visit to Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics. Our expert team makes dental visits easy and fun with sensory-friendly hours for kids who need a calmer environment. We can also accommodate same-day treatments, and to save you time, if your child needs multiple treatments, we can often do them all at once. Appointments fill up fast, so don't wait. Beat the summer rush and schedule online at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com, where healthy, happy smiles begin.
An Australian hiker travels to the American West to walk a wilderness trail.
Wasn't afraid to be out on his own.
But Eric Robinson vanished in the high Uinta Mountains.
I remember thinking, Eric, what were you thinking, mate?
I'm Dave Cawley. Join me on my podcast, Uinta Triangle, where I travel the world to answer the question, what happened to Eric Robinson? Follow Uinta Triangle. That's UINTA Triangle on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
Louis C.K. in an all-new show, Ridiculous 2025 Tour.
When I was younger, you had to go in the bank. Remember that? You had to go inside the bank. Now you look in the bank, you're like, what are those people doing in there? Are they cleaning? The money's out here.
Friday and Saturday, June 13th and 14th, 8 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Louis C.K. live on stage.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
You hear a lot of naysayers saying, these NBA finals, small market teams, boring, low ratings. But we have the smartest listeners and viewers in radio. Reds are excited about it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Exciting young teams that play exciting brands of basketball.
And here's the thing, too, Whitey. How many years have people been saying, oh, we're tired of the pounded, one guy just pounding it, or the superstar team. These two teams play team basketball. We're getting back to that. So it's going to be exciting Thursday.
Is there hope for the Pacers at the three-point line? Indiana leads all playoff teams in the playoffs, obviously. Three-point shooting, 40.1%. Oklahoma, 33.6% this postseason from three.
Yeah, I feel like OKC sort of underperformed when it comes to three. But I do believe when I look at the Thunder, to your point you mentioned about their defense, I think they match up much better with the Pacers. They got a bunch of quick guards. They're like the Western version of the Pacers, with Nimhard and Shepard and Neesmith. They could do the same thing. Case and Wallace and J-Dub and all those guys. And so I do think, and here's the thing with the Pacers, they ain't got anybody that you got to double team. So I could imagine, if you're OKC, you got to have faith in your on-ball defenders to guard their yard.
I was really surprised at what a hard time the Knicks had handling the on-ball pressure of the Pacers. I mean, I get it. They got length and they're quick, but at some point you got to figure it out. You go through a quarter or something. Wow, we got to adjust to that. Okay. I mean, you got to pass the ball right, or you got to get rid of the ball before the double team arrives, but they just seem like they could not handle it. It's almost like a high school team that was getting pressed.
Right.
Like, Coach, we don't know what to do.
Yeah, and that's crazy to think because you got one of the best point guards in the game in Jalen Brunson. I wonder how much of that is on Tibbs not drawing something up to relieve some of that pressure. I mean, there was one play, Brunson got bottled up at midcourt and just had to get rid of it. And then how about, I think it was Towns getting picked. I mean, it's just their ball pressure. And when you look at that series with the Knicks, I thought Game 5, the Knicks ball pressure was better. Game 6, the Pacers got it back, and I think that's going to be the key this series too.
I wonder, OKC it's been finals or bust. And I know they haven't been there before, but clearly when you have the type of year they had and they put up the numbers they put up in the regular season, they're thinking finals. Indiana might be a little bit giddy to just be here. We're in the finals.
Right.
No one thought we didn't think we were going to be in the finals.
Right.
I don't know. They haven't played that way. They played very hard, but I wonder if that could be a factor in the series. They have to be just thrilled to be in the finals.
Yeah, sort of almost like the Knicks were for beating Boston,
Yeah.
They're changing the names on the street corners and everything like that. They're celebrating like they won something. So let's see if the Pacers, to your point, come out with the requisite mindset like we haven't done anything yet.
As you know, there's a lot of fans around here that for years have complained that the Kings never go into the luxury tax. People say, they'll never go into luxury tax. This is the first time in the luxury tax era that neither finalist has been a taxpayer.
I saw that.
Since 2019. The Pacers are 18th in payroll. The Thunder are 25th.
Thunder 25th.
They're in the finals. The rest of the league's got to go. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
That's doing it, winning on the cheap, making the most money you can while spending the least.
And what's crazy is I'm looking at the Thunder's payroll right here. And when you look at Shea's, their superstar, he's on a cheap $38 million. I mean, think about that. Like the MVP is making less than Domas, making less than Zach. Like this is the MVP we're talking about. And then their second highest paid player, you would think, would be J-Dub, an all-star, Hartenstein.
Because he's a veteran.
And then you got Caruso, a veteran. Like, they've done a great job, Sam Presti, managing the cap. Obviously, in a couple of years, they're going to have to do some things. But then they hit on some of their young draft picks, too, which helps them out. They've done, according to this, their cap was 140.588. The Pacers also right around the same amount as well. So
is that the way you have to do it, Drapes, if you're a small market team? Is that the way the Kings should be trying to do it? Is that the blueprint in the NBA for small market success? Young players rely heavily on the draft.
I think so. I think so because, and we're seeing it with Boston now. They're going to have to do some cost-cutting measures, and you hear everybody talk about the new CBA and the second apron and all this and how punitive it is. It might be wise now, to your point, get some young players, draft picks, yes, but also veterans who sort of overplay their contract. Maybe you get 4 guys making between 20 and 40 instead of 2 making 50 or something like that. And so, and I'm looking at the Pacers payroll this season. You got Pascal 42, Tyrese 42, Miles Turner close to 20, Toppin 13 and 11 for Aaron Nesmith. And so, but then you got other guys making less than 10 million who play a huge role for them. TJ McConnell, my boy Benedict Mathurin, who I'm high on. Thomas Bryant. How big was Thomas Bryant?
Boom.
My
Big
boy
shot
Thomas
Bryant.
Bryant. Yeah, so they got guys that are making under 10 million that can actually help them out. Same thing with OKC. Also, like even a guy like Caruso, his deal goes up to 18. He's only making 9.8 this year. Cason Wallace, 5.5. Jay Will, 4.7. You got guys. Damn, that was J-Dub. He's only making 4.7 this year.
I think both teams are really good examples of organizations that identify this is how we're going to play and then finding the players that can do it well. And I think OKC's done this more than Indiana, discarding the guys like, he's pretty good, but like Trey Mann. Trey Mann was a high draft pick. What's the guy, the big forward that I remember we saw him working out? Starts with he was with the Thunder.
Pokashevsky?
Yeah, thank you.
Alexi
Guys like that, they were high picks. Other teams might say, we have a lot invested in this guy. Let's keep him for a few years.
Right.
And OKC's like, we got too many other guys. Already got 3 guys to replace him.
Josh Giddey.
Yeah.
Shipping him out, it's that's the one thing to your point, Whitey. OKC, it seems like they don't make mistakes when it comes to handing out contracts. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, Giddey, you're nice, but we're not going to pay you, so you're out of here. Whereas,
and they get Caruso,
where it feels like, and I wonder, we extended Domas, and Domas is fabulous, but I wonder, were we so afraid and scared that Domas might leave? Let's lock him up now, and it did that. I'm not saying it's a horrible contract or anything, but was that our way of operating business? And is it the best way to do it going forward?
I believe Mr. Hollinger has suggested the Kings ultimately were bidding against themselves there.
Yeah.
When it came to keeping Domas around. But after that year they realized how crucial he was, and they just didn't want to let him go. That was the big move they made. After Beam Team won that offseason, they didn't do anything. Well, one of the big things they did was they committed to keeping Sabonis.
And we also got to go back to, because that was a storyline. Will they keep Sabonis?
Mm-hmm.
Should they lock him up? That was a concern among the fan base and us journalists out here, us media members. And so I get it, but you didn't have to do it at that time if you're the Kings.
Yeah. But again, here you are. So going forward, is there a way to get onto the track that OKC and Indiana are on from where you are now? If they even want to, if the Kings even decide, we want to get on that track, it's not something you could probably do in one off season.
No, it's not. It's not. And I don't even know where we begin to get on that same track. I look at OKC and Indiana, how'd they get their best players? Trade. As much as we want to talk about draft picks and tanking, they got Shea by way of trade. Indiana got Pascal and Tyrese. And so the best way to get your guy might be way of trade if you're Sacramento, And so is it a Ja Morant? Is it a Zion or whoever? Like, who's that next guy that's coming up that can take a leap for you?
Yeah, that's an interesting point. And I know we've talked about this. Indiana has 3 guys in the rotation who were lottery picks in 2020 draft.
Yeah.
They didn't have a first-round pick. Damn. So they had to acquire them.
Who was it? Tyrese, Nesmith, and Obi Toppin.
Damn. Yeah, isn't that incredible?
That is incredible. And they got them all by way of trade.
Yeah.
And so it can be done if you're Sacramento. You just got to identify who that person is, who those guys are.
Now, in all fairness, and I think you and I are both against this, and I think Jay is too, some people right now probably screaming at the radio or the YouTube monitor going, you can do it. You have to tank. You have to get rid of everybody. There's a lot of people saying that. I know our buddy Dave has been saying that. Get rid of those high-priced assets. Do it now. Start it now. It's time to start a proper rebuild. I'm against it. You're against it. But some people say that's how you get on that track as soon as possible.
Yeah, but, and I understand that line of thought. I understand that line of thought 100%. The problem is, one, if you were going to do that, this might be to have been the draft to do it. 2, there's no guarantees. And 3, let's not act like, and I know people say, well, we never bottomed out and everything, but we've had lottery picks, ladies and gentlemen, and haven't really hit on outside of De'Aaron, Tyrese, but then we traded him. We haven't really hit on it and found our guy. I think there's still a path forward by way of trade to get somebody. Jay brings it up all the freaking time. Distressed asset, or the young player who is playing behind a veteran, a la my boy Benedict Mathurin, go out there and make something happen like that. A guy that can maybe take a step forward.
When we come back, we'll look at what the decision at point guard is going to tell us about those Kings plans. Also, Jeff M. has a gripe of the day. What do you think?
Okay.
Is it a legit one? We'll find out next. Sacktown Sports.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our Giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Giant Summer Sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
The A's are back home tonight. Sutter Health Park. It's been a rough patch for the Athletics. They have lost now 17-18 Drapes. Jay, dear listener, Athletics pitchers have allowed at least one home run in 14 consecutive games. During that stretch, they've given up 32 total homers. Yesterday, Toronto 8, A's 4. However, it could be worse. You could be the Colorado Rockies. Have you seen their record, Drapes? The Colorado Rockies are 9-50.
That's terrible.
That's what?
Fastest team to 50 losses since 84. 1884.
Shut up.
Kansas City Unions or something. Yeah. Fastest team. They reached 50 losses in fewer games than any team since 1884.
9-50. They're already 27 back in the division 2 months into the season. Let me look at this here, fellas. Hold on here. They are in the National League. They're so bad. And the second worst team is who? 367. The Pirates. They're, according to my calculations, 12.5 behind the second worst team in the league, in the National League.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
I think I saw some today. They've played 20 series and they've been swept in 10 of them. It's just, that's not right. That's where the league needs to come in. Baseball. They won't, but they need to come in and go, what are you guys doing? We got to look under the hood here.
What's happening out there? I don't know much about the Rockies. I do know their run differential is minus 165. They can't score any runs. 184. My gosh.
That's just not right, Jay. That's an insult to anybody who has ever cared even a little bit about baseball. 9-50.
Yeah, that's horrific. I saw that today, and I had been seeing it over the last 2 or 3, 4 days. Man, what do you do if you are a player on the Rockies? Like, honestly, fellas, what are you looking forward to? What are you trying to, beside playing for yourself? I'm playing for myself to make sure that me, my family, I'm in the big leagues. What else are you playing for?
I know they asked Stallings, I think is their catcher. He said, you got to fight. What else can you do? But,
come on.
You play in that park, Jay, you got a chance to put up some numbers.
Yeah.
You got half your home games there. You can put up not just long ball, but you can, they have a lot of, that outfield's big. You get a lot of hits there. So that's probably is like, I'm going to just try to get for as healthy an average as I can so I can get out of here as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Get me out of here.
And I saw this before the season. I've seen it, the first couple of months about ownership really tanking. What are you tanking for in baseball?
Draft picks, but I heard that they're not actually tanking. I don't know, but earlier in the year I read, they're not tanking. They're trying
to save some money.
Put a decent team on
the
field.
Well, I
failed.
I thought they were trying to save money. I don't want to say tanky, but they're trying to save some money. But what are you trying to do that for? Like, are you looking for a new stadium, or that's not the way to go about it? Draft picks are completely different in baseball. Compensatory picks and all. There's so many different ways. And we know, like, the first 5 top 15 first round in baseball, you got so many rounds that you could find plethora of talent anywhere, any shape, form, or fashion. So what are you doing? What are you really trying to do?
I don't know. Are they revenue sharees? Like the A's were for many
Yeah.
years. We're terrible, but then we get more money from
Collect
other
that
teams.
money.
I don't know. It
What's
doesn't
their
help.
payroll this year? I haven't even looked at that.
$14.17. It doesn't help that they're in the same division as the Dodgers.
Or the Padres.
Yeah. And the Giants. And
No, we don't mention it.
I got their payroll right here, Jay. Looking at it, they're 24th in the league with the payroll.
So it could be worse.
Yeah. Cleveland's worse, Washington, Tampa, White Sox, A's, and Marlins.
So they're 100 million plus?
Let me see here. Colorado, 124.
Yeah.
So if they're better than A's, then
9-50 team.
Wow. Unbelievable.
They just don't really have no talent, though. You look at their big league club, and they lack talent every which way.
And the A's are back home tonight, as we said. They're taking on Minnesota. Here's Jeff M's gripe of the day.
What do you got?
What do you guys think? Is this legit? It's like, nah, take it somewhere else. My gripe of the day is being in line at the ATM. The person at the ATM takes forever. Like, what can they possibly be doing? Are they checking the balances on 10 different accounts?
I've been there.
I'm with you, Jeff.
I'm with you, Jeff. I hear you.
Maximum 2 transactions at the ATM. Anything more, you got to take your ass inside the inside the office, the branch. 2, because nowadays, fellas, after you do 1 transaction, your card spits out, and then you got to put it back in.
Yeah.
That's taking too much
Don't
time.
they ask you, is there anything else you'd like to do?
Yeah,
sometimes
they do, but then you got to
take
but then they still spit it out, and they're like, all right, you must re-enter your card. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. So I'm with you, Jeff.
So if you were making the rules, 2 transactions, then I got to get out. Then I got to go get in line again if I got more to do?
No, just take your butt inside.
Oh, okay.
Just take your butt inside. Or,
the bank's not open.
Dude, you better wait. And if somebody's behind you, just be considerate.
Yeah,
that's all
go
it's
back
about.
around.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
back
I'm with
around. Like the Starbucks lady. Hey, if you got 11 orders, okay, that's fine. Just if you see me behind you, hey, tell the barista I'm gonna go pull over. Just be considerate of the person behind you.
I went to the drive-through a couple days ago to get money, and there was a truck. There was 2, so it was fine.
Yeah.
But there was a truck at one, and I went in the other one, and the truck was there when I got there, and it was there when I left, and I was wondering if somebody was dead inside or something.
See?
It's like that truck didn't.
Yeah.
it
The worst
move.
is
It was there
because
forever.
he's probably doing business transactions and everything. I'm like, no, dude, go inside.
Call 911 or something.
And so when I go to the bank, they got the fast cash now.
Yeah.
I'm always doing that.
Well,
I ain't
fast
never
everything. Fast
true.
cash, fast food.
That's true. But that's the thing. I'm not, checking my balance first. Who checks their balance anymore?
Not me, man.
You could do that on your phone before.
right.
Yeah, nobody checks their balance anymore, right?
That's like keeping score at a baseball game.
Oh, don't get me started on you and
I do
Ramsey.
that.
Yeah, come on. You know what? The worst, fellas, on top of that is when it's one operating ATM, like the other one or something's not working.
Yeah.
Or it's one is only dispensing cash. And you're like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Just get your bread, make a deposit. And if you see a line, you got 7, 8, 10 people behind you. Yeah, we don't need you to keep pulling receipts.
Jay, I went in, speaking of tellers and things, I went in last week, one of the days I wasn't in, and I was getting a blood test. So I went to the lab, and I go in, and there's no desk there because they have kiosks, and they have paper over the kiosks, like, these ain't working. And there's 3 people sitting there waiting to get called in. So I'm like, how in the world did they even know I'm here?
Yeah. You can't even check in.
Yeah,
or
I
anything.
cannot check in. And I asked the guy, and he goes, yeah, they'll come out. You have to tell them when somebody will come out eventually. So, yeah.
Been there too.
Yeah. It's like, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
How's that supposed to work?
Yeah.
They looked at me, and I told them, okay, you're number 117. All right, fine. Okay. So
I'm just sitting here.
Yeah.
No one is acknowledging that you're even in the building.
Yeah, it's as my ex said, Kyle, everybody hates waiting in lines. I'm like, I know, but I hate it more than other people. Like, seriously, I can't do it.
You get like a chemical reaction, don't you?
No, I'm the dude that's like this. Tapping my watch. Everything, like I'm making it known. Like today during the Starbucks line.
You ain't honked the horn.
No, I thought about it, but I kept inching up. I was like,
if I was in line and someone did that,
You take more time.
Just take all your time. Right?
I'm trying to rush in to be with you guys and be on time, and her 11 drinks messed me up, man.
Do you want to get your right off your chest?
Yeah, let's
Why
what you
not?
got.
All right, so I go visit Mom's yesterday. Mom's lives past Yuba City, almost into Chico, right?
Okay.
So go and visit Mom's. Mom's is getting some work done at the house. So I'm there being the son and doing things. And so literally there's a full renovation going on. So she hasn't been in the house for a while, right? So she has nothing to drink, nothing's going on. It's cooking. And she lives in the middle of nowhere. It's literally cooking. So the guy's doing some work there, sitting there waiting. I'm like, Moms, I'm gonna shoot down to the liquor store, grab something to drink. No problem. Ask the gentleman, you need anything? Cool. Jump in the car, go down to the liquor store. And here comes my issue. And I've this has been on my chest for a while, fellas. It was 100 degrees yesterday, was it not? It was cooking. Absolutely cooking. Walk up. Mom's loves the ice. She's one of those. Give me a cup of ice. Okay. Give me a tea. Give me a cup of ice. It grinds me, man, when I have to literally, all despite the fact of, if I'm going to use your cup, I can understand why you want to charge me for your cup. But why in the hell am I getting charged for ice? Why are we getting charged for ice these days? It's nothing but water.
Right.
All it is just water that's frozen.
So hold up. Let me get this straight.
Yes.
There was a cup charge and an ice charge?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. So not only was it, some places they charge you for the cup of ice. Totally. Okay, I got it. I'm paying for your property, your cup.
Your cup.
Understandably. But other people bring in thermoses. People bring in certain cups. So my mom was like, man, take the big one for me. I'm like, all right, cool. I told the dude, I said, listen, I'll pay for the drink if need be. But why am I getting charged for ice? This isn't the first time. The other part of that is I don't know if you guys have been, Draper, maybe you move around quite a bit.
Yep.
There are certain restaurants now that are charging for water.
What?
Have you gotten that?
No.
Really? Yes, man. I'm not going to put their name out
water?
there. You come near, normally hey, would you like to get started with your drinks? I'm a water and lemon guy. Daughter, wife, whole thing. Let's get some water and lemon. We'll figure out what we're going to do. I've been to a few places now that you have to ask for water and it's not free.
I've heard of the asking since the drought and everything.
Yeah.
I was not aware that they
Yes. I've been to a couple of restaurants where they don't offer free water. Now you pay for bottled or, sparkling. You have to make a, choice. But you don't get tap water or whatever you want to call water. No, man.
Real quick too, Jay. Oh, go ahead.
It's 1,000,000 degrees outside. Why am I paying for ice?
I'll tell you my ice story. I'm down in Birmingham, Alabama, covering SEC Media Days. Yeah, I'm down there. I'm deep in the South. And me and some fellas, this is back when I drank alcohol. We go to a bar, I order a drink. Drink is $9.35.
Chump change.
I'm like, all right, okay.
How do you remember the exact?
I'm just
good storytelling.
I'm just painting the story
That's right.
here. I'm like, all right, let me see, how much this drink was. The drink was $8. To get it with ice, it was an extra $1.35.
Come on, man.
I went to the lady. I'm like, hold up here. So you're charging me $1.35 to get my drink on the rocks? Usually, if you want to straight up, they charge you more for that because it's more, it's neat, it's more in the cup.
Right.
And I make a big stink. And so I'm like, $1.35 for ice, to Jay's point, it's just frozen water. And so I'm there with a couple of people from Lexington, Kentucky, and they're like, "Oh, calm down." I'm like, "No, this is back when I was drinking now, Whitey, so I might not have been in my right mind at the time." Ultimately, I got kicked out of the bar.
Okay.
And from that point on, they call me $1.30 in Lexington, Kentucky. Every time I talk to my boy Steve and them down there in Lexington, they call me $1.30. Who pays $1.30, $1.35 for ice cubes?
Wow. Somebody from the text line said 916 ice requires refrigeration, which it equals electricity plus machinery.
Mr. Johnson, we have to pay for the
Man,
power.
stop
this
all
guy?
that. That's the problem.
Who's
right
this
there.
guy?
That's the problem. If we live in Sacramento or surrounding areas.
Jay said
It gets triple digits.
Power isn't free.
Triple
Mr. Johnson,
digits.
And we have to pay for the energy to run the ice.
So turn off all your lights in the store then, if that's what that means, right? That's price, as they say, that's the price of doing business.
Oh man.
If you listen to me right now, Sacramento, surrounding areas, Northern California, if you own a store, an establishment, a gas station, anywhere that has a drink machine, stop charging people for ice.
Right.
It is sweltering outside. Stop charging people for ice.
I'm with you on that, Jay.
Well, next time you're at a restaurant where they charge you for water, just ask for ice and it'll melt.
Very true. They might charge you for that. Yeah.
When we come back, yes, the Kings and the point guard question, what it tells us about their future plans. It's coming up with the Drive Guys.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Fidium Fiber.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Expect a pleasant evening with a nice delta breeze to help cool temperatures off. Eventually, we'll see temperatures in the 50s by Tuesday morning, but then more sunshine and temperatures climbing into the low 90s through the afternoon. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
It's about time they
fixed that pothole. Invented better windshield wipers.
Made an internet that just works. Fidium Fiber Internet, starting at only $30 a month. It feels like Fidium. Offer available to residential customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See Fidium.com for details.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy, and oh my goodness, I'm born and raised here. I know it gets hot, but my goodness, we're already seeing 100-degree days. Listen to me. You do not want your system to conk out in the middle of June or July or August with one of those big 100-degree stretches. You want to make sure you're good all summer long. And my friends at American Energy Heating and Air can do that with a $24.50 tune-up right now. That's half price. And if you need a new system, $3,500 off, up to $3,500 off in rebates for qualified systems. They've been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call them right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Saturday, June 7th, the Spears Cars Tours West lights up the Stockton 99 Speedway with limited and pro late models, MMI Legends, mini stocks, and NCMA Sprints. Presented to you by Tracy Ford. Gates open at 5, racing at 6. Grab your tickets now at Stockton99.com. Be there.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Switch to Comcast Business Mobile and save hundreds a year on your wireless bill. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Restrictions apply. Comcast Business Internet required. Compares 2 unlimited intro lines and lowest price 5G plans of top 3 carriers. Taxes and fees extra. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabytes of usage. Data thresholds may vary.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
According to Bogey Jones in the Daily Divot, golf is the best sport ever, and they provide a few reasons why. Some include no two courses are the same, so you'll never get bored. Some are wicked long, others have super thick rough, and others have fast greens. Enjoy the variety. You can make the game competitive with anyone. With other sports, bigger, stronger, younger opponents may have an edge. In golf, different tees and a formal handicap system makes it competitive, even if you're a 30 handicap. Golf can't be conquered. One day you can't miss a shot, the next day you want to throw all your clubs into the lake. The unpredictability is fascinating, and age is just a number. You can play when you're 70 years old. In fact, some don't take up the game until later in life, but don't wait that long. And you'll meet amazing people, celebrities, athletes, successful CEOs. You never know who you'll meet on a golf course. And oh yeah, it's a game. So have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
I was lying on the grass of Sunday morning of last week, indulging in my self-defeat.
only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
What kind of point guard are you looking at, Drapes, if you're running the Kings? And we know you are. We know you can't say. We know you got a lot of influence there.
Yeah.
Are you looking for a bridge point guard? Are you looking for somebody younger who can be a centerpiece for you going forward? Whose minutes are they going to take? What do you think? What are you looking for with this need for a point guard? How do you address it?
I'm looking at all that, all of the above, Whitey.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone on record and said, John Moran is somebody I'm looking at. Trae Young, LaMelo Ball,
Dennis Schroeder
for the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Schroeder's more of a bridge guy, and so if I'm Scott Perry, I'm looking at all avenues.
Mm-hmm.
It's if you can't get one of those established veterans, I think you go for a bridge. I don't know of a young point guard that's available out there. That's a first or second year, third year player. I don't know who that is. So it's either an established guy like a LaMelo, Trae, or Ja, or a bridge guy.
Mm-hmm.
Who you got?
Here's a couple of young guys, but I don't think these are good ideas.
You just presenting.
They're young guys. Maybe you disagree.
Okay.
Trey Mann, Charlotte, restricted free agent. Last year averaged 14 points a game. Doesn't defend much. So we agree.
Yeah. We're skipping that. I'm gonna just let you rock here.
All right. Delano Banton. 6'9" point guard.
Nice.
How about that?
He's not really, and I've seen him up close and personal. He's not running the show out there. Really.
Solid playmaker and slasher.
I don't see it.
Doesn't defend much.
Yeah, I don't see it.
He is sick. I got to admit, when I was looking at 6'9", and we remember he had one of the worst games you'll ever see an NBA player have. Not at the end of last year, but the year before, the last regular season game of the season.
Yeah. It's solid. To me, he's a rotation guy, not our starter.
Bridge guy, Monte Morris.
A little undersized, I think. Solid. Definitely a bridge guy. 1 year stopgap.
Campaign.
6-man, bench guy, rotation player, but not as our starter.
All right.
That's all you got?
Trey Jones? Well, there's a lot of guys here, but, a lot of them are the big names that the Kings would have no chance of getting. Davion's on the list.
Okay.
Like Spencer Dinwiddie.
Dinwiddie.
Both of the Jones brothers are on here.
Trey and Tyus?
Yeah. And then I'm not even going to mention Carmichael Dave's favorite player.
Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Nah.
Not a lot of great
Slim
options
Pickens
there.
out there is what I'm hearing.
Kyle Lowry. DeMar would love that.
Yeah. You got to give me some more.
Bring back Markelle Fultz.
Yeah. Honestly, I would bring back Markelle Fultz. I'm 100%. Because for me personally, you may be different, Jay may be different, listeners may be different. I don't know if I got to see enough of Markelle Fultz. Especially we got to remember this guy came in late in the season, didn't play all to start of the year, was recovering from injury during the offseason. I think there's still something there. He showed me some flashes. So I bring back Markelle. Not saying that's my starter, but I kick the tires again on him.
Reggie Jackson, Isaiah Thomas, on the list. I think it's going to say a lot about where the Kings are going and how they want to get there. That is, who they sign, who they bring in to play point guard. But they don't have the pick of the litter, so they're going to have to be flexible. They may have to go with a bridge guy. That young guy that's going to come in and boom, we're giving him the position for years. Probably not available.
Yeah, it's not. And not unless it's by way of trade, like we said, a LaMelo or John Morant. But then you're probably, if I'm one of those teams, I want Keegan Murray To start, I want Keegan Murray and 3 or 4 draft picks. And so it's probably not realistic. Honestly, if I'm the Kings, out of all those guys that you mentioned.
Don't forget, also free agent Jordan McLaughlin.
Never really got to see him here in a sack.
No,
I know.
but we saw him here.
We got him in studio. Exactly. Out of all those guys, I don't see it, Whitey. Maybe I'm doing my boy Schroeder for a year or two and then looking in the draft for my point guard over the next couple of years, my point guard of the future.
Here's a name that a lot of fans bring up, D'Angelo Russell.
Come Come on, what are we doing here?
I'm just asking. I'm with you. Besides, I don't think you could afford him.
What about the defense, Whitey?
I haven't seen him play.
Exactly.
Really, he was on the Warriors when I was first doing pre and post game stuff with the Warriors. I remember him playing some of the just most non-existent defense I've ever seen in my life. Like just having no concern whatsoever for what he did defensively.
Yeah,
it's just a total disregard.
Yeah, no. He's out there just looking to get buckets. And so, no, he wouldn't fit in. And he's another scoring point guard.
Yeah.
That's not what we need right now, right?
I don't know. You tell us what they need. Seriously. And then I wonder how it's going to impact the guys that are already here. If you brought in a point guard and someone that you like and is going to play, and with my backcourt, that means fewer minutes for somebody.
Yeah, fewer minutes. And does that take the ball out of Domas's hands? And how are we looking like – when you look at Domas, is his strength, one of his strengths, playmaking? And so when you have a guy like him, if you bring in a ball-dominant point guard, CP3, somebody like that, is that minimizing Domas's strengths?
Mm-hmm.
This is where our conundrum is.
Yeah, you're failing to take full advantage of one of your player's unique skills.
Right.
It's a conundrum.
I like that word, huh?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a great description.
It really is. And Scott Perry is walking into this job, and it's hard. It's difficult. That's why I think I would rather go for the stopgap than, try to, hit a home run right now. Go for the stopgap, serve everything, see what you got. You don't have to hit the panic button, I don't think, if you're Sacramento.
Is it coincidence that the two teams in the finals are both led by outstanding point guards? I know Shea's not a traditional point guard, but he's our point guard.
Yeah.
Is that coincidence, or does it tell you how important the position is now and how you better get that short up as soon as possible if you want to be legit?
Well, the thing about those 2 point guards, too, Whitey, Shea, and Tyrese, they are leaders. There are a lot of point guards in the NBA that can get buckets, score. But look how their teammates gravitate towards them, Shea and Tyrese. To me, that's just as important as the talent. No offense to our boy De'Aaron Fox, hell of a guard, All-NBA, All-Star. But I never got the feeling that he was the leader of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Like guys followed him. And so when you get a point guard, not only do you have to have the skills, the talent, but you also, I think, have to be a leader nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Not all point guards are still like quarterbacks, but some of them are.
Some of them are.
Important respects.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. All right, what would inside the NBA be without the NBA? According to Charles Barkley, we may be about to find out, and he's not crazy about it. Tell you all about that when we come back to Sacktown Sports.
The Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, athletics, and Republic FC with the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SacktownSports.com to join.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-932-5858. That's 800-932-5858. 800-932-5858.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sacktown Sports.
Powering your afternoon. Yeah. You know, I try to consider myself a man of science, as brought up that way, but there are some things in life that are beyond our understanding. There's some strange things that are hard to explain.
Yeah, what you got?
Are you a believer at all in the drapes, Jay? The Madden curse? You believe in that at all? How about you, Jay?
I might be.
Oh, absolutely. After last year.
Yeah, I might be.
You really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm nervous.
It's over.
That's why I'm nervous.
It's over, Drake.
Saquon Barkley.
But, I mean,
if
anybody's going to break a curse, it's going to be a Philadelphia Eagle. It's going to be Saquon. So I'm confident in my guy.
I'm sure there's nothing to it. Like, who was on the cover last year, Jay?
That'd be a CMC.
Yeah, what are we doing?
He had his worst year ever. Worst year ever. And remember, this same time last year, he got the cover.
Yes.
And people were like, CMC, man, come on. It's a jinx. And he's like, oh no, we're gonna be fine. All I'll say is this.
Gonna break it, like Drapes just said. Yeah.
It's my boy. It's my boy Saquon. Yeah, I'm looking at the list of Madden curse.
It's real.
CMC. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Lamar Jackson, his production dropped off precipitously, if you will. Antonio Brown. Remember him?
Yeah.
He went off the deep end quickly after that Madden curse. Yeah. Gronk, Rob Gronkowski, he was injury riddled that year. Yeah. Damn.
Come on, keep going. Don't just stop after 2 and 3.
It's
come on,
Adrian Peterson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. Keep going.
I don't want remember Peyton Hillis?
Oh yeah.
Ain't heard from him since.
Denver Broncos, right?
Yeah. He had 1 year and they ain't heard from him since.
What else you got?
Oh, come on, Jay. Why are we doing this? Man?
Remember McCaffrey last year started out, he's got a bad calf. Then he's got Achilles tendonitis.
Yeah.
Then he's got bilateral Achilles tendonitis.
Yeah.
Then he comes back and tears something in his knee.
Yeah, it was the definition of a curse, right? That was like, that's what I'm worried. I saw that today. I saw, Saquon. Okay. They're talking to him on ESPN right now. I'm like, damn, there goes the season. Like, as an athlete, would you try to avoid that now? Or is it still such an honor? You know what? It is what it is.
I'm out on it.
Really, Jay? If they said, Jay, we want you to be on the cover, man. damn, it's that real of a thing. Huh?
It is.
Even if it's only in your head. It's like the movie The Skeleton Key with Kate Hudson. The voodoo is only real if you believe it. So I don't even want to have to deal with it. Just let somebody else be on the cover, and I just won't have to deal with any of it. Is it really that big of an honor? Is it really that much money? I mean, why?
It's just a cool thing, right?
Yeah.
Like cool to be on the cover. You're immortalized, if you will. But if I'm Saquon, I'd take a pass. Dude. I'm with Jay too, man. It's like, nah, you can go get somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Put Brock Purdy on the cover.
Now he'd be the one who'd break.
He'd break the curse, I'm sure, right?
He'd break it for sure. There was a lot of sad tears of bittersweet joy being shed over the weekend with Inside the NBA signing off. Inside the NBA on TNT signing off. I thought it was cool. Rick Carlisle said something when he was presenting the Eastern Conference. He was being presented the trophy by Ernie Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering, why is it such a big deal? Because they're going to be on ESPN next year. But it turns out it's not going to be the same, is it?
No, not going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think what Barkley said, you know.
We have some Barkley.
You got some Barkley sound? Go ahead.
Charles Barkley was on with Dan Patrick talking about inside the NBA's future, and here's what he had to say.
See, that's one of the reasons I was waiting, like, yeah, I don't know what we're doing. And then TNT is trying to do something stupid behind the scenes. We taped a pilot about a month ago, and it was the stupidest I've ever seen in my life. You know, because we're not going to be on ESPN as much as people think.
Wait, what do you mean you taped a pilot?
Well, because ESPN, because we're only probably going to be working for ESPN like half the time to 1/3 of the time. So I think TNT wants to do something, and we taped a pilot about a month ago, and it was the stupidest ever.
Okay, so you're still going to do a show, an NBA show on TNT, and you're going to do a show on ESPN.
Yes.
Okay, good.
But like I say, if they're being honest, we're going to probably work on ESPN 1/3 or half the time. But they're trying to do something stupid at TNT, which is number one, it's a stupid idea for a couple of reasons. Number one, we won't have basketball highlights. But also, we're probably going to be going up against the NBA game. And anybody who likes basketball ain't going to say, hey, you know what? Let me turn off an NBA game that's on Amazon, ESPN, or NBC to go watch these four dudes sit around and talk about nothing. So it's complicated. And like I say, we taped a pilot doing stupid stuff, and it was just stupid stuff. And I wouldn't want to go out like that.
Okay.
So there's Charles Barkley explaining, Inside the NBA is going to be on ESPN sometimes, not as often.
Right.
And then I didn't know about this. Did you? They're going to do some on TNT?
I didn't know about this.
Pilot?
I didn't know about it till today. And the TNT doesn't even have the rights to NBA, so they can't even show highlights or anything.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't. And Bill Simmons and others have, surmised that ESPN is going to ruin Inside the NBA.
ESPNification of that show will be its demise.
Because think about it. Somebody pointed out, and maybe this is, how they change it up. But usually after the big NBA game, you got SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt. That's their signature show.
They do a good job on that show.
And they do a great job. Great job. But now, will Chuck, Charles, and Shaq and them, or Chuck and Shaq and Kenny and them get that slot? Or it just, I don't know. I got a feeling it's not going to be as good as, obviously, what that show is. But I will say, one of the highlights of my weekend has been looking on social media and people posting some of the greatest moments from that show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this new show on TNT, you'd figure, ESPN on TNT, excuse me, Inside the NBA on TNT. You'd figure, well, they've done that for years. It'd be pretty much the same thing. But they had to do a pilot because he says it's going to be four dudes sitting around and talking about nothing. So we taped a pilot. It was just stupid stuff. What in the world?
Well, I'll tell you, when one of your on-air talent isn't buying in, what I mean? It doesn't bode well for the show. But somebody is saying, well, TNT has to somehow, cover some of that money that they're paying, Charles and those guys. And so, but I don't see it like it's going to be a digital show on air. Like, and to Charles's point, if you're going up against NBA games, no offense, right? No chance. I'd rather watch the game. Yeah.
Couldn't you do something that became, I don't know, talking about the history of the game or something? I mean, you're so limited without the highlights. Can't do your show, but you still, you would have Shaq and you would have Charles Barkley and Ernie and Kenny. You'd still have something you can do there. I don't think you want to just, it sounds like they're just like playing grab ass or something. No? That's good when it kind of evolves naturally from what else they're doing. But the main thing they do is talk about what they know about and think about basketball.
Yeah. And, it would be nice if, you get former players to come on, guys that, either played with them or went, like have David Robinson on with Shaq and they talk about there with Patrick Ewing, that'd be pretty cool. But like you said,
but on a weekly, like on a Tuesday and Wednesday during the game, that
just
doesn't
don't see
fit.
it.
Yeah.
So where do you squeeze them in then? I just don't see it.
By the way, Draper, we have a message for you here from the 530 talking about the cover of Madden. These guys grew up playing that game. It'd be such a big deal to be on the cover. By the way, Draper, it was a Subaru Outback, not a Forester.
Oh, that's right.
Is that accurate?
No, it was a Forester.
Okay.
It was this person trolling
somebody today.
Yeah,
in Starbucks.
Let me tell the story again because it really put me in a bad mood, Whitey, and I have yet to recover. Going to Starbucks, get my little tea lemonade that I like, something with some flavor. Ordered it on the mobile app because I like to do that. And I pulled up and it looked like the drive-thru was empty. So I'm like, oh, I'll just go through the drive-thru. But then once I pulled around, there was one car. Like one car, what's that, 2 minutes? Probably get one drink.
Mm-hmm.
The car in front of me, the Subaru Forester, 11 drinks. Not only that, fellas, also had food items as well. Sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit or something like that, whatever they were serving.
Those don't cook themselves.
Right. And so 15 minutes in the drive-through line. That can't happen. Not in today's society. We are a microwave society. Dude, I can't do anything for 15 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know why they couldn't say, just go park over there and
we'll
bring it out.
Yeah, we'll bring it out. Just go hang it. 11 drinks. And they just kept bringing them through the window. I'm like, all right, there's 2. Okay. 4, all right, she probably done. And they just kept coming and kept coming. And then they handed the food out the window, too. Unbelievable. And the problem is, Whitey, I only ordered 1 drink through the mobile. So my drink was sitting there getting all watered down and everything.
It should be like golf. Play through.
Right.
We got a foursome, you're twosome. Come on, play on through.
What if this really is the woman, though, that was in front of me?
Well, I saw from the look in your eye there for a minute.
I know. I was like, oh, maybe.
Getting back to our point guard conversation from the 530, someone says Miles McBride.
Deuce.
Then they came back with Miles McBride again. Then the third time, y'all suck.
That's the same number? No way.
We didn't acknowledge the Miles McBride text. So
this guy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We should call that person up on the air right now. Call him up right now.
What do you think of Miles McBride?
Solid player.
Y'all suck.
Yeah, he's a rotation guy. Your boy Nemhard to me would be an intriguing guy. Just don't see it happening.
Yeah, especially now they're going to the finals.
Right,
the last thing they're going to do is, we'll
Yeah.
give you some of our key players.
Right.
His brother's in the draft.
I saw that. His brother's in the draft, and he's working out with somebody I saw here coming up.
All right. We're going to talk bottom of the next hour to Doug Smith from the Toronto Star about Giannis to Toronto and some of this Domas stuff that's being thrown around. And when we come back, this is the most important thing the Kings have to do this offseason, at least in my opinion. Next with the Drive Guys. Stick around.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
All right, Michael, Dave here. Golfers, listen up. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, my go-to courses in Sacramento, just dropped the best ball deal of the year. Now through June 15th, when you stop by Timber Creek and buy 2 dozen Srixon golf balls, you get the 3rd dozen for free. I did that last weekend. We're talking the same Z-Star series used on tour, plus Q-Star and Soft Feel, whatever fits your game. It's the perfect excuse to stock up, hit the range, play some of the best conditioned golf in the region. Head to Timber Creek today and take advantage before it's gone.
An Australian hiker travels to the American West to walk a wilderness trail.
Wasn't afraid to be out on his own.
But Eric Robinson vanished in the high Uinta Mountains.
I remember thinking, Eric, what were you thinking, mate?
I'm Dave Cawley. Join me on my podcast, Uinta Triangle, where I travel the world to answer the question, what happened to Eric Robinson? Follow Uinta Triangle. That's UINTA Triangle on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I was taking my side hustle full-time.
Bold move, my friend.
And I needed to find everything in one stop.
Like finding Bigfoot riding a unicorn.
Yes, so I hit the Staples Easy button. Staples had everything for a new office and print services for signs and brochures. Plus, Cindy, the Staples associate, helped me find the best tech for me.
Wait, no drama?
No, Staples made it easy.
For the products, services, and experts your business needs. Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
The longest journey, it's been said, begins with the smallest step. So what's the first step for the Kings? What's the biggest thing, the most important thing they have to accomplish this offseason? We'll get them back around to that here to Drive Guys. But first, because you're a basketball guy, Drake, this might interest you on the True Sports Card show on Saturday. You know who Emmer and I had on the show?
Horace Grant.
Horace Grant is right.
How was that?
It was great.
Y'all talk about Jordan at all?
In a roundabout way.
Because he was kind of butted heads with Jordan a little bit, right?
I asked him about the year Jordan left the first time.
Yeah.
And I was trying to make it clear that I'm not trying to put you in a bad spot, but Michael Jordan leaves to play baseball, and then the Bulls win 55 games.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, my opinion, people overlook how good you guys were without him that year. He said, oh, we had something to prove.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got knocked out in the semis, I think, in 7 games by the Knicks. And he said, I think it was Hugh Hollins. He said there was a phantom foul that got called. But he said, yeah, we played together. We moved the ball. And, he's complimentary, Michael. But he said, oh, yeah, we had something to prove that year. They had a really good year.
Had a really good year. Was that the year Scotty refused to go into the game at the end? Yeah.
Because they drew up a play for Kukoc. He was the Pippen was like the decoy, and he didn't like that.
Yeah, and Kukoc hit the shot too, if I'm correct. No, what was some of the other things Horace talked about? What was the purpose? Just because is Horace Grant, or is he coming to town or anything?
he's got something that he's going to be doing with Emran, and they alluded to it, but they didn't announce it yet.
And I know you know, but that's all right.
I think I'm not sure. Yeah.
So they promoted something they couldn't promote?
Yeah. It's like, thanks for coming on. I can't wait for you to come on again and promote our thing.
Oh, where's him? Let me text him.
Horace is like, yeah, that'd be great. No, I just asked if I've always wondered this about his family. When you guys have some kind of gathering, you guys play basketball.
Right.
And how serious
Did you
does he
ask that?
get?
Yeah.
He said, well, the uncle's a little older now. He said a few years ago, yeah.
Yeah, they used to go ahead.
Yeah, but he's got another nephew, I guess, that plays in college or overseas.
Really?
In addition to, Jerian and Jeremy and what a great basketball
family. Harvey Grant. Yeah. That's pretty cool, man.
It was
pretty
very
cool.
It's the funniest thing with Emran. You've seen it when he's been in here.
Yeah.
So you want to talk to Dan Issel and don't call these guys up.
Right.
They always answer.
And it's like guys you're not checking for. And it's like, oh yeah, West Sunsound or something, somebody like that. It's like, damn, Emran.
Yeah. He must make them money because they always answer.
They always answer. You're right. That's right. Didn't think about it. And he got his big show, I know, coming up. August? Is September. Okay. All right.
Yes. And he's got Tyler Soderstrom, pardon me.
Is that this weekend?
That's June 21st, I think.
Okay.
So anyway, a lot going on there. And I knew that you as a basketball guy would appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Horace Grant, always one of my favorites. I think the most important thing for the Kings to do this season, I know that guy in there disagrees. I'm not sure how you feel. I think it's getting the Keegan thing taken care of and getting him extended.
Contract?
Yes, getting him extended. Because I think the Kings have a need at wing. They need length. They need defense. They need shooting. He's one of the few guys that has it. And I know you could say he's not what they thought he would be at this point. I still think he's a good player, and you've got him. And to me, that is there's a lot of things you got to do, but to me, that's the most important thing. Extend Keegan. And I know it takes two to tango. You can't extend him if he doesn't want to stay. We'll find out.
I think it's a no-brainer, right? I think, Keegan has done everything he asked for by the organization. He's developed into a good two-way player, really good defender. And so you don't give up on those kind of guys. You don't, leave those guys hanging in the wind, if you will. The question is, how much are you giving them? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't even know what the full max is. Maybe we got to get Yasso, whatever that one, capologist guy on or something like that. But, I'm with you. I think you got to re-sign him. And even if you don't view him as
Yossi Gosling,
even if you don't view him as the long-term play, he's a trade chip too. Now you got that big contract. And so, no, I'm with you. I think it's a no-brainer that it gets done.
Yeah, he's an asset that you have, and it wouldn't do you any good. You don't really benefit from decide, he's not what we thought he'd be at this point, moving off of him.
Right.
It doesn't, you don't benefit from doing that.
You don't benefit. And,
and as Jay points out, you got the salary slot that you want to preserve.
You got the salary slot that, you want to preserve. And I think it's not often you see a team not extend a guy. Obviously, Golden State didn't do that with Kuminga and everything, but Kuminga and Keegan's been a starter since day one. He's lived up to expectations from the organization. And so, no, I'm with you, man. I think you got to get that taken care of.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've talked to Jerry Reynolds about this. The restricted free agency has been around a long time. You mentioned Kuminga. If you don't extend Keegan, he becomes a restricted free agent. And Jerry says, teams, that was put in there in the CBA for the benefit of teams. And he says, teams don't use it to their advantage. It gives you a chance as a team to say, we want to see what you do another year. I'm not saying they should do it with Keegan, and he wasn't talking about Keegan when he said it. But he said teams now are in such a hurry. You don't want to offend anybody. And we're going to extend you.
Yeah.
And sometimes he thinks teams are better off letting
just
it play
waiting
out a little bit. And then you have a clearer idea how good the guy is before you decide how much you're going to
get.
Do
you feel like in the case of Kuminga, he viewed it as an insult that he didn't get extended?
Yeah, he probably did. He just has not been a good fit there, and he has felt like he's played well enough to warrant more minutes, and Kerr hasn't liked the fit. Yeah. I don't think he has a future there.
Yeah, and all they have to do is make him a qualifying offer talking about Kuminga, and then they retain his rights, and then
Yeah.
go out there, shop around.
Right. That's the thing. Our buddy Slates pointed that out.
Yeah.
He said even if they don't want to keep him, they may be better off keeping him so that they can move him and get something for him rather than just let him leave.
Right. And if I'm the Kings, from a business standpoint, like you were saying earlier, it does make sense not to extend these guys before you have to.
Yeah.
Go out there and earn it. Play it, when I look at Keegan, though, I wonder, would his camp feel disrespected?
I would extend him.
You would extend him, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the $1 million question is how much, I need to look at, he hasn't made any first teams or anything like that, or all defense or anything like that. So
you'd be probably giving him something around Herb Jones level. And I know Herb Jones has probably played better. And Herb Jones has gotten better. Herb Jones has gone from, he's improved a lot more than Keegan has.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at SI.com, the fan side of things, did a write-up on what a potential extension Keegan Murray would get. A max offer for Murray would be roughly $246 over 5 years. This will not happen, they're saying. There's no that's all close to $50 million a year.
Yeah.
Like this. He's a $30 to $35 million guy. That's probably where I'd be going with.
Yeah. That's another thing that's going to tell us a lot about the direction in which they intend to head. How do you feel about Keegan?
Let me throw this at you, though, because we had the conversation earlier about OKC and Indiana and their payroll and everything like that. Is Keegan on the championship team your third option, and are you paying your third option $35 million?
Yes and yes.
You comfortable doing that?
You have to, unless you're going to tear it all down and start over and try to go that younger route. Look at Cat. Cat's what, their second number 2 option? Yeah. What is he making, like 50?
But he's an all-star.
I know.
Cat and Keegan, that's different.
Right. Well, you said 35. You also said a championship team, so I'm assuming you'd have some other people on the roster. I don't have a hard time imagining that, but I'm not going to give him 35 now. What'd you say about 30 now?
Yeah, 30. Yeah, 30.
I would sign off on that in a heartbeat.
What's that, 150 or so?
The thing that makes me nervous, and maybe it was nothing, but in his first introductory press conference, Scott Perry was asked about Keegan.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Tristy asked him, and he went, he'll be fine. And you know what I'm going to do? It's like, so maybe he was, didn't want to negotiate in public. I don't know, but it was interesting that he didn't exactly have glowing praise for Keegan. He was non-committal.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't know what they're going to do with him. To your point, I think, Jaden McDaniels signed a 5-year, $131 extension. Is Keegan better than McDaniels right now?
I think he can be. I don't think he's as developed as Jaden McDaniels is.
Yeah.
I think he has a higher ceiling.
So we're talking that $30 million. If you could get him for 28, that'd be even better. But to your point, I do think not only deciding Keegan's contract, but deciding what your views of Keegan are paramount for the Kings. Do you view him as a number 2 option, a potential number 2? Or is he just a glorified role player?
That's why it's so hard to figure out on this team. There's no way on this roster he's going to be a 2, right?
Right.
I would like that, but it's not going to happen. He's not going to get enough
Let's
shots.
say you move on from DeMar. Does he become the number 2 behind Zach? Or is it Domas?
Still Domas.
Damn.
Don't you think?
Yeah. I'm with you, yeah. But I don't know if that's what it should be, though. I think you're right, but it's imperative on Keegan to also be aggressive out there, especially if they trade DeMar. Like, there's enough shots. Keegan, give me 18, 19 shots a game.
Yeah, I would definitely re-up him and extend him.
Yeah.
I could see how you could make the case. We're going to see how this year plays out. We're going to give you a larger role and see if you can become the player we think you can be. I wouldn't do that, but I would understand the logic.
Hold off on the extension.
Let's see if you can take that leap that we
Trey
need
Murphy.
you.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I'm with you. But to do that, you got to clear out some people.
Yeah.
You can't just run it back, Scott Perry, and expect Keegan Murray to average 18 points per game. when you got DeMar and Zach out there.
Yeah. The thing is, and Herb Jones, I think I mentioned Herb Jones. I should have mentioned
guy, Herb
Trey
Jones.
Murphy. Herb Jones was before Trey Murphy.
Yeah.
The thing is, he's not a bad player. He's a good player. You look at Keegan's numbers, they're good. He does a lot of things that help you. He just still hasn't made the improvement that he's capable of. He's a good NBA player.
It'll be interesting, Whitey, because I'm looking at Jabari Smith Jr. out there in Houston. To me, that's kind of comparable. What are they going to do with him?
And he was the second pick?
Second pick, yeah. What are they going to do with him? And he's very comparable to Keegan, I think. Long, can defend, can shoot. He's a guy, I could argue Keegan's probably done more in his career than him, but he should get paid too.
Trey Murphy, his extension last October, 4 years, 112.
They got him on the cheap. He went out there and exceeded it. He's borderline all-star.
When we come back, conversation continues also. Doug Smith, bottom of the hour from the Toronto Star about all this. Raptors, Giannis, Raptors, Tomas talk. That and more coming up. Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy, and oh my goodness, I'm born and raised here. I know it gets hot, but my goodness, we're already seeing 100-degree days. Listen to me. You do not want your system to conk out in the middle of June or July or August with one of those big 100-degree stretches. You want to make sure you're good all summer long. And my friends at American Energy Heating and Air can do that with a $24.50 tune-up right now. That's half price. And if you need a new system, $3,500 off, up to $3,500 off in rebates for qualified systems. They've been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call them right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
So we got that settled. I think we agree. You got to extend Keegan, get that taken care of. That's job one.
Job one?
Well,
you got till October to do that, Whitey. You ain't got to rush to that. You got to make the decision, though,
right
in your mind. Okay.
Yeah. You got to. What's your job one? DeMar? Figuring out DeMar?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so because DeMar, whether you have him or not, alters the makeup of your team. If you, let's say, move on from DeMar, do you need a traditional point guard as much, or are you looking more at a scoring point guard now? If you have DeMar, you don't need a scoring point. So I think that's the number one decision.
Here's another philosophical thing you got to figure out here. You look at your draft capital. Sacramento owns first rounders in 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. They got the 31 pick that San Antonio can swap with. Plus, you got a San Antonio first in 27, a Minnesota first in 31. Are you willing to move off of those in order to upgrade this year? What would it take for you to trade some of your first round picks? I would think it would, in my opinion, It would take somebody that you like who's young, somebody who I can afford to spin off a draft pick or 2, maybe 3 if I really like the guy, for a young guy who I know I'm going to have for a number of years. Who's going to
How
be
young is young?
25 or younger?
Because I'm looking at a guy like Trae Young. I'm just throwing. Right now, he's 26, about to be 27. It's going to cost some picks to get a guy like that. Is he young enough? That's a good 5 years with him, maybe.
I'm probably in the minority. I am not interested in Trae Young because he was supposed to be the centerpiece in Atlanta. It didn't work. Why is it going to work here?
Got to the Eastern Conference Finals, Whitey.
Once, and it's been very spotty at best since then, and he doesn't guard people. He's small. I need people that are going to guard
but
people.
most point guards, you're not going to get that, Whitey.
I need a point guard who's going to give me more than he gives me. Look at the teams that are still playing. They're really
Tyrese ain't guarding nobody at the point. Come on now.
Better defender than Trae
Young.
Young.
Knicks win at him, Whitey. Come on. He is a better defender than Trae Young.
Trae Young is a below
most of the
average
time, you're like Jamal Murray. He ain't guarding nobody.
Well,
most of the time, you're one of your best offensive players aren't one of your best defenders either.
But here's the thing. That's true if I look at it in a vacuum. You're 100% right. But if I'm going to have some combination of DeMar, Domas, and Zach LaVine on the floor, if I am, I can't afford to put any more below average defenders on the floor. I'll get killed.
Those names I'm talking about, though, the Trae Youngs, you won't have DeMar, Zach, and Domas on the floor. Now, let's say you're spinning off DeMar. Now you get another wing defender, a 3-and-D guy, Dorian Finney-Smith, or whoever it may be. I don't know. And so that just, to me, changes the makeup of your team where you can have a Trae Young or a Ja Morant, but now you got to back them up, at the 3 or 4 spot with better defenders. Like, I don't think you add a Trae Young and still keep DeMar and Zach. That doesn't make sense.
I get that. We just had Kamla on, but you were not here that day, were you?
Who?
Rick Kamla? Last time?
Kamla? Ah, shoot. I wish I would have.
The only reason I mentioned is because we talked about Trae Young, and he kind of goes, maybe he crosses the line a little bit here or there. But he said, I don't want to use it, I don't want to refer to Trae Young as like CK, but he's had some issues with his coaches. So that's another concern I have with Trae Young.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, that's, and I'm just talking about from a talent, like some of the guys out there. Is there anybody you actually like?
Point guard wise?
Point guard wise. That's
nobody that I see right now that's available.
Right, that's available.
There's guys that I like that you're not going to get him. There's guys available that I don't like.
Drew Holiday? Is he the answer for high-level defender still?
He's so old. What? I got to build for the future at some point.
You can't. You're not going to be able to.
You can agree or disagree, but I just told you if I'm going to trade these picks for a point guard, it's got to be somebody, in my opinion, who's
Give me a name.
Or younger.
Give me a name.
I don't know that he's out there.
That's the problem for Sacramento. I don't know if there's the perfect answer out there right now.
So then why not just say it's what you guys talked about last week? It's just going to take some time.
Yeah.
There's no one that's there.
Yeah.
No, you guys can say, hey, it's just not there instead of forcing a hand. And I mean, you guys talked about that Friday, or what was that? Yeah, Friday, right? Or yeah, that's Friday. You guys talked about that. Patience and Drapes, you talked about it quite a bit. Yeah. Patience may be key this summer.
Right. Because if you're Sacramento and Kings fans, I'd love to hear from you. We got Doug Smith coming up, but then we'll open up the phone lines, 916-339-1140. Is a Trae Young, is a Ja Morant the answer for us, and how would you feel about it? Or are we looking at maybe a young draft pick going forward? Like it's how quickly, I guess, do we want to get our star player?
Yeah, I think this franchise has suffered from the last 10, 12 years from Rudy Gay syndrome, where we're not very good. We need better players. Rudy Gay's available. He's a really good player.
Yeah.
Let's get him.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, he's pretty good. We
Right.
didn't quite ever fit with him. He was a nice player here. And at some point, you can't just cherry pick. Trae Young's a really good player. Bring him here. Okay, he's pretty good. You're going to have to build something, and that's really hard. And I'm not saying do this and that and that, you're set. But I think you have to try to be more patient in that regard rather than let's get this guy, bring him in. I love Drew Holiday. He's one of my favorite players, but I just don't see him as a good fit for what I'm doing here.
But I'm of the belief right now, if you're Scott Perry, with this roster, and I've said it before, I think nobody's untouchable. So to an extent, in terms of culture, how you want to operate, you might, in my opinion, I'm operating with a blank canvas. If I go out there and say Ja Morant is my guy, I'm building around Ja Morant the future. Same thing Pacers did. Identified Tyrese, built around Tyrese. OKC, Shea built around. If you get Trae Young, it's not about fit with a guy like him. He is the fit. Mm-hmm. He is the guy you build. And I'm not saying I want any of these guys, but if you make those moves, fit be damned, because they are the fit. Like, they're the ones that you have to orbit around. Mm-hmm. So you're pivoting from, maybe you don't see Domas as an ideal fit with Trae Young. I don't know. But now you're pivoting the direction you want to go.
It all comes down to, are you trying to be good as soon as possible? Are you realizing it might take a while? And that's where it gets tricky, because even if I decide, you know what, I want to retool, then I'm going to have to, it's going to take me a while to get anything close to value for the players I already have. I can't, we've talked about this. I know that the people that want to tank say, just get rid of everybody. But as we said Friday, that you're cutting your own throat. But if you want to, like Zach LaVine, let's say, you know what, we want to get younger. Well, it's going to take a while before you get out from under him, and you're going to have to figure things out as long as he's still here. And DeMar DeRozan too, perhaps. It's not as easy as, all right, wipe the slate clean. Right. Let's get young. Right. I don't think fan base would tolerate that. That's where Dave and I disagree. He has said, if you tank, fans are going to be okay with that. I don't know, but I really don't. A lot of fans are. The tried and true Kings fans, they don't, no matter what happens, they are going to support the team. But there's a lot of fans in Sacramento that if this team wins 22 games a year, next 3 years, they're out.
Dude, they're out after winning 40 games.
Thank you.
To your point. And that's where I think Dave misses the mark. And I agree with you. I think this fan base got a taste of winning. They're tired of losing. Mm-hmm. And you're coming here and telling me we're going to lose for another 2 to 3 years on purpose? Mm-hmm. Nah, this fan base ain't ready for that.
Yeah, and obviously the people that respond to Dave and us and listen to the show, they're really good fans who are more inclined to say, yeah, I'm up for that. But the more casual fans, and you rely on their money too, they're not going to stick around for that.
Right. I got fans now telling me they're not renewing season tickets, or they're debating on whether to renew or not. If you're telling me we're going to turn into the Utah Jazz and people are paying their hard-earned money, nah, they're not jiving with that. I can't see that happening. Mm-hmm. And it, like, and somebody pointed out on the text line, it was last week, and we've talked about this. Doko needs the Sacramento Kings to be good, relevant. It's a money maker down there. The vibes outside, all the businesses. If we're tanking and averaging 9,000, 10,000, that has far-lasting impact, I think, than just wins and losses.
That's why I think it's not just a matter of you tank or you run it back. There is room in between.
Ah, yes.
And you got to thread the needle. None of this is easy. OKC tanked for a couple of years, and it paid off for them. And as you pointed out, well, they already had Shea, so maybe it wasn't a full-on tank. The Pacers won, 30-something games 2 years in a row, and then they were back.
They were back.
That is a more sensible approach if you have the wherewithal and the smarts to pull it off.
Jeff Simpson says, so just keep selling them the same old fool's gold year after year so we can have the same conversation every offseason for the next 4 to 5 years. It's not true, Jeff Simpson. 2-3 years ago, you were all high on the Domas trade and Beam team and 48 wins. To Whitey's point, is there a way to do both, like thread the needle in between?
Yeah, you're right, Jeff. It's not like, oh, no, we'll be fine. Nothing to see here. But it's probably going to have to be more gradual, and which makes it in some ways even tougher.
Yes. Yeah, and I've said this, 40 wins, not what we're about. We want more. But in terms of fielding the competitive basketball team night in and night out, that's all you can ask for as Scott Perry tries to tweak and build and everything. That's what I want. I want competitive basketball. And then Scott Perry, when the move is there to be made, make it.
Mm-hmm. Now, you may have seen it today. There's speculation that Toronto may have some interest in Domas. Any reason to think that? Any reason to think the Raptors and Giannis have mutual interest. We'll find out when Doug Smith from the Toronto Star joins us next. Don't go away. Sacktown Sports.
Hi, Sacramento. It's the No Surprise Guys at Bell Brothers Plumbing and Air Conditioning. Need a new water heater? Call Bell Brothers. Need drain or sewer work? Call Bell Brothers. Need a free plumbing estimate? Call Bell Brothers. We don't guess at plumbing and drain problems. We use advanced camera inspections and diagnostics to identify the issues. We're fast, reliable, and respect your time by showing up when we say we will. Our technicians are all background checked, drug tested, and will leave the work area cleaner than they found it. The price we quote is the price you pay. We are the No Surprise Guys. With more technicians, more trucks, and more experience. We get the job done right the first time. No surprises. Don't wait. Call Bell Brothers today for a free plumbing estimate or book online at nosurpriseguys.com. That's nosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So we had a huge new business pitch.
Attention, all hands on deck.
When, boom, our only printer was fried.
Up in smoke, like your chances of landing that account.
Well, I just sent the file to Staples. Devin, the print associate, was on it. She had it printed and bound same day.
So where's the drama?
There wasn't any. Staples made it super easy.
Inconceivable. For the product, services, and experts you need, Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Giant Summer Sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
At SMUD, we power local business with incentives on clean energy equipment, tools to manage electricity usage and save money, tailored solutions from dedicated strategic account advisors, and 50% lower rates than neighboring utilities, all while doing more for the planet with clean energy solutions, savings, reliability, personalized service, clean energy, helping local businesses thrive. That's our clean power promise. Learn more at smud.org.
Sacktown Sports.
This could be the craziest NBA offseason ever. Seems like we say that every year, but a lot of people who know what they're talking about seem to think, no, this really could be. There's already a lot of nonsense out there, Drapes. Can we agree on that? There's already a lot of
1,000%.
This team might talk to that team about that guy.
1,000%.
Keep an eye on that. Then again, they might not. So thankfully, we have an actual reporter nice enough to join us. And we know he's got a lot going on right now from the Toronto Star. Doug Smith with us. How are you today, Doug?
I'm good, guys. How are you guys doing?
What's up, Doug? Drapes, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Take good care of my guy, Doug Christie, out there, all right?
Oh, yeah, 100%. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt.
Doug, we appreciate your time because there is so much, rampant rumor mongering going on here on X and on social media. So we wanted to ask you about a couple of things. Let's start. I know you reported today that there looks like there's mutual interest between the Raptors and Giannis. What can you tell us about how deep that might go?
It goes way deep. It's like Masai Ujiri and Giannis have had a relationship for, I don't know, 18 years, a long time. They've been around and known each other forever. The Raptors were chasing him in 21 when he was a free agent. There's a deep relationship there. And if the Raptors are going to hit a big home run, they're going to go after that guy. And Giannis is a guy, we keep hearing that he would like to stay in the East if he wants to leave Milwaukee. But he's beloved in Toronto. It's a great city for him. And in the Eastern Conference, it's a pretty good young team.
Hey, Doug, I hear you on that. And if they do make a play for Giannis, it's going to take a haul. Are there any untouchables on that Raptors roster?
At Giannis level, no. I think they would probably talk about Scotty Barnes as a guy in that, as a centerpiece of that. They've got all their draft picks left out for the rest of the next 7 years. They could deal if they wanted. They got a bunch of young players at different levels of salary, levels of experience that I don't think there's anybody on the roster that they wouldn't talk to. When you're talking about one of the top 5 guys in the NBA, you'd be silly not to talk to him about it.
Doug Smith with us from the Toronto Star. The Raptors seem like they're doing now something similar to what the Thunder did a few years ago. Seems like they're, accumulating talent. Where are they? Where are the Raptors right now as far as their competitive arc compared to somebody like OKC or Indiana? It sounds like they feel like they're in position now where maybe they can make a move.
They're ready to go. They're ready to start to win. And they've developed. They've got a bunch of young players. I think they had 4 rookies who played significant time last year. Who looked pretty good. They got different levels of skill. They got Brandon Ingram coming in and didn't play it all last year, so they don't know what he's going to be. But he's a pretty good basketball player. And in the Eastern Conference, it's a mess out here. So they're not far out of being that top 4 level. And once you get there, who knows what happens in the playoffs? As you guys know, once you get in, anybody can win.
Yeah. Doug, one guy I'm looking at is RJ Barrett, put up numbers last year for the team, a facilitator, but, some don't, think too highly of him when it comes to winning basketball. What do you make is his future in Toronto?
He had a great year and a half with Toronto. He came home. He got sort of freed of the shackles of Tibbs. He got to play instead of go stand in the corner and watch guys work. So he really blossomed in a year and a half with the Raptors, but he might be the guy who's interesting because his contract's got 2 years to go at less than $30 million a year, which in this day and age is not a lot of money. He could be the guy who would be on the market and someone who, at his price point and his development of his playing style, he might be intriguing to some teams who want to. He's only 25 years old. He's not like an old man or anything by any stretch. And he had, once we saw him get to play basketball, I think we saw him play good basketball.
That's Doug Smith from the Toronto Star. Doug, we wanted to ask you about something that's being bandied about on social media, and I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but this wasn't so much a report as a suggestion that the Raptors are a team to keep an eye on in a potential pursuit of Domantas Sabonis. Would you have any information on that whatsoever that you could share with us? Because as far as we know, there's really nothing to that.
I've never heard his name in a conversation with anybody involved with the Raptors for a year and a half. So I would be, they're pretty happy with Jakob Poeltl with a year and with 2 years left in his deal at $20 million a year. Sabonis is a great player, no question about it. But I've never heard his name linked to Toronto. Anybody who I've talked to in the Raptors front office or the decision level have never talked as a guy as so that they would like to pursue.
Hey, Doug, thanks for putting that to bed, because you know how these internet rumors start, Doug. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, I know them pretty well. Thanks.
Hey, we had DeMar DeRozan, for this first year here. Things didn't go quite according to plan when it comes to the wins and losses, but he still, put up DeMar DeRozan type numbers. Knowing him like you do and covering him, how much do you think at this stage of his career winning is the most important thing?
I think it's right there. I think he'd like to win, but I think he likes being. I know him really, really well. He might be my favorite Raptor of all time. Just a great kid, great guy. I think he likes being comfortable, and I think he likes responsibility, and I think he likes to build stuff. I wouldn't look for him. I don't think he'd be the kind of guy who would be chasing rings. Let's put it that way. And he's a great player. He's still got some game in him. He's not done by any stretch of the real at all. But I would bank on DeMar to have another big year, putting up DeRozan numbers, and he's very loyal, and he likes to be appreciated, and he likes a comfortable environment, and he seemed to have it there last year.
Doug Smith from the Toronto Star is nice enough to join us. Not to put you on the spot, Doug, but if DeMar and the Kings were to decide, all right, we're probably better off looking to move you, you're better off, we're better off, what kind of market would you guess there would be in the league right now for DeMar DeRozan?
Well, I think the first place you have to look is Los Angeles to go back home. I know the Lakers have nothing to offer anybody for anything, but that would be a team that you would look at that you might want to be interested in going, because he's got great ties in LA, grew up there, has great family grounding there. Those would be the two teams I think the Clippers and Lakers that he would look at. But again, the Lakers have nothing to give anybody, and I'm not sure how good that team's going to be.
Yeah. Doug, when it's all said and done, I'm looking at RJ up there. I'm looking at Scotty. I'm looking at Ingram, like you said, who hasn't even played yet. Does that core work, or do you think the Raptors will, be super aggressive this offseason and making a move?
We don't know, and it's an odd mix. There's not a lot of shooting there. There's a lot of guys who like to have the ball in their hands. There's a whole bunch of facilitators, but we've never seen it, so we don't know whether. The big question is, can Ingram and Barnes coexist? And no one knows, and that's going to be a coaching issue, and that's the big question too. Is Darko going to be able to get the best out of those two guys playing together? It's a very interesting mix, because individually great skilled players. As a mix, no one knows because no one's seen it, and that's why I think they might give it some time to percolate. But if it's not working in November, December, then next February, who knows what's going to happen.
All right, Doug, well, before we let you go, we appreciate your time. But any thoughts you could share with us on how these finals are going to go in your estimation?
You know what? I like Oklahoma City so much, and I'm a big Rick Carlisle guy, but that Thunder team is stacked, stacked. And we got a local, Shea, running the show there. I think Oklahoma City might win that thing, and they might win that in 5 games. They're that good.
Nah, you're right, Doug. You're right. Yeah. Let me throw one more question at you, Doug, because some of the things being talked about is, I'm a big RJ Barrett fan. I asked you about him earlier, but the relationship between DeMar and Masai. Could you ever see a scenario in which DeMar returns to Toronto?
I don't think I think the relationship is better now. I think it went way off the rails when he got traded. No question. So it took a long time for fences to be mended there. But again, I don't know where DeMar fits on the process of where the team is right now. So I don't think there's a fit there. I really don't. I think they get along. The fans would love for DeMar to come back, but I don't see there's a basketball fit there.
Look at that. So actual information from
That's
an
what I'm
actual
talking
reporter.
about. Yeah, somebody on the ground.
Yes. Thank you, Doug, very much. We appreciate that. Enjoy the finals. We hope to talk to you again soon.
Anytime, guys. Anytime at all.
All right, Doug. Be good, man.
I haven't heard anyone with the Raptors mention Sabonis' name in a year and a half.
A year and a half. That's always so. Somebody just and how did he phrase that? To keep an eye on, a team to keep an eye on, I think, or something.
Raptors are one team to keep an eye on in a potential pursuit for Sabonis. I don't think so.
Nah, that ain't happening.
We've got word on a couple of finalists for an NBA head coaching position. When we come back, Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And vacation you forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man.
But regular you knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and regular you really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes a pizza lover starter kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. Try the TrackMan experience, the very best technology to fit your metalwoods and irons. The new cutting-edge putter fitting studio with its $30,000 worth of technology is ready for your fitting. Hagen Oaks will help you find the best putter for your game. Hagen Oaks offers more technology, more choices, and more service. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. 808-2531 for more.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
My opinion is Domas isn't going anywhere, at least not before the season starts. I can't tell you why exactly I feel that way. It's just based on things that have been said. I know there was a lot of talk about Domas is not sure about the direction of the franchise, and maybe there's things going on that we don't know about, but I don't know. Draves, to me, I think it's safe to assume he's going to be with the team at the start of next year. We'll see.
I'm with you on that, and I 100% agree on that. You know, he's one of the centerpieces, and if you're trading him, to me, then you're signaling we're tearing it down. You know what I mean? We're, not necessarily tanking, but parts are for sale, if you will. And so I still think he's a very good basketball player, all NBA caliber, top 5 big. And so in the pecking order of who may get moved, Domas isn't top 3, I don't think.
I think when you are putting this team together going forward, you also have to look at what is your stated identity that you want the team to have and how the players that you have fit that. And Domas plays really hard. Not every NBA player plays hard. And we know that's one of the things Doug Christie and Scott Perry want their team to do, and he does that.
Yeah, exactly. Lays it on the line every single night. And, one thing we know about Domas, he cares. You can see it, the blood, sweat, and tears literally, on his jersey and everything when he plays. And so, if you had a team full of Domas's effort-wise, you're doing something pretty big. And so, yeah, to your point, he's not the issue in terms of trying to figure out a culture. He fits into what you're trying to do. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you talked about Halliburton, and one of the things he's brought Indiana is he's clearly a leader.
Yes.
Is there still something of, this is going to sound like a slight, but I don't think it is, a vacuum there in terms of the Kings and the roster with a leader? Who is the guy? We know DeMar talks about himself as a leader. Is that something that still has to be sorted out and maybe develops more if they stay together more? Is that an issue? Domas is a leader in some ways.
He's a leader in some ways. DeMar is a leader in some ways. And, I'm of the belief you got to let things marinate a little bit. Just don't. This ain't Costco rotisserie chicken that's all ready for you when you arrive at the store.
That's like Ramsey brings in here in the control room all the time.
Does he really?
Yes. And you go, I can't even stay in there sometimes.
Don't get me started on Costco rotisserie chicken. I got a rotisserie chicken story to tell you coming up off air, maybe. But the problem is and we had Chris Mullen on, about a month or two ago. It's one thing to say you're the leader. It's another thing for people actually to follow you. And when I look at DeMar, I think he's a leader in terms of work habits, work ethic, professionalism, that kind of thing. Example, a leader by example out there. And to an extent, he's the guy, get on my back in the fourth quarter and everything like that. But when we look at SGA, when we look at Tyrese, Brunson, Jokic, whoever it is, we know it's their team. Whose team is it here in Sacramento?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know. Exactly. And so
it was De'Aaron's, right? So clearly there's that void that has to be filled. 100%. I don't think it's been filled yet.
It has not been filled. And I'll go back to what Domas first said, when he got here about De'Aaron. It's De'Aaron's team. He came out and said that. Fourth quarter, I give it to De'Aaron and get out the way. Like the pecking order was established. Domas came in and said, you know what, this is De'Aaron's team. Now, did everybody follow? That's a different, subject. But at least the thought was De'Aaron's the guy. I don't know if we have a guy yet. Like in terms of even with our team, does Domas think he's the guy? Does Zach think he's the guy? Does DeMar think? Like, I don't know if even them being on the same page and understanding who's our leader, I don't even think they know that right
And in
now.
some ways, that's separate from being like the main guy, right? Sometimes the main guy on the team and the guy who's the biggest leader, they're not necessarily the same player.
Right.
Sometimes they are, but they're not always.
Not always. Not always. I look at, Golden State we always talk about with Draymond. But for the most part, Whitey, not always, you're right. But a lot of times it is in today's NBA.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some teams.
I don't know that the Kings have either one right
now. I don't know. What we have? Honestly, if I'm shooting it to you straight, Kings fans, we have some really, really good players. Meaning, we ain't going to be bottoming out, but we ain't going to be top 4. We're probably 6 to 10. You could book it right now in the West. And, is that good enough? No. And so if you're Scott Perry, you're identifying, all right, who's the guy or guys I want on this team that I think can lead us to the promised land or be a part of a championship caliber team. What you got?
I didn't see this. There's some people voicing some frustration on the text line from the 916. I dropped the A's from my lifelong fandom, and if the Kings don't tank next season, I'm a Pacers fan for life. Life is too short to cheer for organizations that aren't very good. Be happy. It's okay. From the 916, I've been a season ticket holder for 18 years. I'm done. Too much instability.
Really?
My guess is that's something somebody says, but if they're listening now, they're probably not done. Part of them, we all do that.
Right.
I'm not disrespecting that person.
I'm
out. Who do they play tomorrow?
Right,
I'm out.
dude.
I don't care, but yeah.
If that was the case, the NFL would have been folded by now, right? Because remember, it's my thing is, obviously I take offense to it, this person calling it a dog crap organization. It had some issues, 100%. They botched the Domas De'Aaron pairing, Beam team, botched it. He even botched the Fox trade. But we won 40 games. Like, we're in much better shape than a lot of teams out there. Are there some issues? Yes, 100%. Should fans be frustrated? Yes, I get it, 100%. But I tell you what, Charlotte would love to win 40 games right now. There are a number of teams out there that would have loved to have won 40 games this past year.
The Kings do have a lot to prove to a lot of fans from the 916. I don't understand the Domas trade talk. This guy was a triple-double machine a year ago. He was arguably more valuable to the team than Fox was, in my opinion. And then somebody else says, if Sabonis is your centerpiece, then you are tanking, but you are just too stupid to know it. I don't, and none of us said that he was your centerpiece. You said he was a centerpiece.
Right.
I don't think you could be a serious contender if Domas is like, he's the guy. He's a really important and good player, but if he's your centerpiece, I think that limits what you can accomplish.
I hate sports talk sometimes, Whitey. I just hate it. I mean, let's parse what the 916 just texted.
Mm-hmm.
If Sabonis is your centerpiece, then you are tanking. But you are just too stupid to know it. Like, think about what they just said.
I know. That's why I read it.
If you're tanking with Domas as your centerpiece.
Mm-hmm.
All NBA caliber center, triple-double machine.
Double machine anyway.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but he was still, I think, top 5 in triple-doubles this season too, Whitey. To me, if Domas is your centerpiece, he was the centerpiece this year, arguably. We won 48. That's not tanking. And so I just, and somebody from the 916 chimed in afterwards. Sabonis is a leader, but the media biased against him and hurts his respect from others. The national media, like the O'Connors and the Hollingers of the world.
It's funny because when we actually talk to people, we talk to broadcasters and writers, and some of it is they recognize who they're speaking with when they're on our station. But, I mean, I go back to Mark Boyle with the Pacers, who, by the way, is having such a great time. He's great. I don't understand all the criticism of Domas. So when you talk to writers and NBA broadcasters, they all heap praise on him, but still there's the national writers who kind of, and let's face it, this has nothing to do with Domas really, because he didn't trade himself, but the better Halliburton trades, the plays, the more some people are going to look at it and go, see, he's not that good. It's like, well, that has nothing to, what Halliburton's doing has nothing to do with player Sabonis.
And here's the thing about Domas. He has to deliver on the biggest of stages. Playing games, playoff games, he got to be better. Let's call it what it is.
That's a great point.
He has to be better. Ain't nobody shining. But I will say this, Whitey, because it's pissing me off right now. And I need to hear from Kings fans, 916-339-1140. Because as Rick Pitino used to call Celtics fans, are we the fellowship of the miserable right now? Are there any Kings fans that are optimistic, maybe not as jaded, maybe not as frustrated? Like, it's over the internet, Whitey. It's on social media. It's on the text line, YouTube. And usually the most negative people and negative comments are the ones you see the most. Are there anybody out there that's excited, that's like, okay, Zach is good? Like, it's all negative in Kings. Rick, are we the fellowship of the miserable right now? Because that's what it feels like.
By the way, real quick, the Suns have narrowed their head coaching search to 2 finalists from the Cavaliers. Associate coach Johnny Bryant and assistant Jordan Ott. Boy, things have changed. Remember when NBA teams, they'd go for a big name?
Big name. Yeah, I don't know. And if you look at the picture of those guys, those look like young guys, too. I don't know if they show a picture in that story, but those are, 30s, guys in their 30s.
Yeah.
Like, whereas you got the Van Gundys of the world, our boy Mike Brown, some older guys still out there.
Well, look at Dagnall. He looks like Frankie.
Right. I like that one.
What's interesting, fellas, is around here, we folks, some people who were against Doug Christie getting the head coaching job or wanting to see, a search go happen. Taylor Jenkins still hasn't been hired. You guys talking about Mike Brown still hasn't been hired. There's some people around here, the Scotty Brooks of the world, the Jeff Van Gundys. There are a bunch of coaches that have good names, great names, not been hired yet.
Yeah. By the way, real quick shout out to Coach Q, who got a job.
Portland. Yes.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, and happy for him. Him and Chauncey Billups, super tight. So big move for him. I'm happy for him.
Now, as far as the optimism thing goes, Drapes, this could be Scott Perry's biggest challenge. And we'll tell you what that is when we come back to Sacktown Sports.
But what he'll never have is the love I have for you.
What He'll Never Have, the smash hit from Dylan Scott, appears on the brand new album, Easy Does It. The album also features the #1 song, This Town's Been Too Good to Us.
This town's been too good to us.
Until I Can, I Will.
I'll do whatever it takes. Yeah, believe me when I say till I can, I will.
Dylan Scott. Search, follow, and listen now on all music streaming services. Sponsored by Curb Records.
Gain a global perspective and specialized skills that many of today's top employers are seeking with an MBA from University of Maryland Global Campus. Study online and complete your degree in just 16 months for about $21K. Choose from MBA specializations in global business, marketing, HR, finance, and more. Classes start June 11th. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway, because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary. Staples presents That Was Easy.
So we had a huge new business pitch.
Attention, all hands on deck.
When, boom, our only printer was fried.
Up in smoke, like your chances of landing that account.
Well, I just sent the file to Staples. Devin, the print associate, was on it. She had it printed and bound same day.
So where's the drama?
There wasn't any. Staples made it super easy.
Inconceivable. For the product, services, and experts you need, Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
You know what I would be all in on when it comes to the Kings and the point guard position? I don't know if this is realistic, if the player has any interest in coming here, if the finances work, but if there was a way to bring Davion back, and maybe it's just sentimental, I would be totally on board with that. He shoots well, he defends, and I don't think we ever really saw him get the opportunity here that he deserved. I would love that if that were to happen.
Where's his fit, though? Like, how does he fit in? Is he our starter?
Guard. Yeah.
He your star? Okay,
yeah.
okay. So you turning the keys over to him.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not against that. All right. I just wanted to see where your head was at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you on that. He might be in line for a mid-level kind of deal.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we could, but if you're Miami, you probably want to keep him, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm. He's restricted, right?
Yeah, restricted, right? Yeah.
I believe he is.
I believe so.
That would be great. Yeah. Ideally, I'd like someone with a little more length, but he defends. He shoots.
Knocks down the three.
Yeah.
3-and-D guy.
Yes.
That's what you want.
Uh-huh.
I'm with you on that. I'd like Davion.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think watching him in Miami succeed?
I was watching Jay to see his reaction to that. By the way.
Oh, all right. Jay's he's
I'm not sure.
Does Davion fit with Domas in terms of moving without the ball, catch and shoot? Like, how do you think? Like,
he didn't seem to fit what they were playing
before. Yeah,
the DHO
like
stuff.
Yeah, the DHO dribble handoff, or has his play evolved over the last couple of years?
Yeah,
and maybe he is a fit.
I think I'm out on all the DHO stuff.
Really?
Yeah, not a lot of teams running that, Drapes.
What's Domas doing? How is he? What is he?
I think we can still run stuff like that. Used to run for Vlade with some flex stuff. I think he can still be a good passer without all the
flex. Okay,
yeah.
all right. I see you on that.
Yeah.
I could see that work, especially with Zach too in the mix.
Yeah.
I don't know about DeMar, but yeah, I'm with you on that.
The flex, my friend Bill Horrenda told me once, and he played college ball. He said the flex is a B to defend.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, flex too, you got to be on the same page, right? Yeah. And so hopefully we'll see, DeMar and Zach if they're around and Domas, because it just seemed like there are a bunch of individuals out there, not a cohesive team last season.
Everyone kind of sort of knew what they were doing, but they just weren't able to do it with the aggressiveness, with the force that you need. That's one thing about these two teams in the finals. Whatever they're doing, like Indiana, that last game against the Knicks, everything they did was such force.
Right. But where does that come from? Is that coach? Is that the leader? Is that the players?
It's got to be all of it, doesn't it?
All of it, yeah.
It's got to be buy-in. It's got to be the system that they're buying into has to fit what they're doing anyway.
Right. And here's the thing, too. Always talk about the Celtics and Kevin Garnett and how they talked about their practices were so much harder than games because the guys went at each other. If you're the Kings, and it'll be interesting to see this upcoming season under Doug Christie, how hard are the guys going in practice? Or is it just, guys breaking a sweat, if you will? Or are you really competing in practice? Because iron sharpens iron, right? That's what the saying is. So I need to see that from the Kings.
You brought up something very interesting before we went to break.
Yes.
About what was your question? Your Rick Pitino-based question? Are we the
Fellowship of the Miserable?
Yes. Scott Perry today, his Monday motivation on X, says, we have a choice regarding the approach we will have for each day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The one thing we can do is rely on the only thing that we can control, our attitude. Let's embrace a positive winning mindset each and every day. That obviously relates to a lot of things beyond basketball. But when I read that, one of my first thoughts was, all right, Scott Perry is coming in and he's trying to get Kings fans to look at this whole thing with a more positive approach. That's going to be hard. I understand it, and it's a noble endeavor, but it's going to be hard.
It is. The fan base seems to be jaded right now. And it's sad because 2-3 years ago, we were on top of the world, like euphoric around here. And now, even with a new regime, Scott Perry, even with Doug Christie, it's still a feeling of it doesn't matter. The anger is at the owner, Vivek. People are saying as long as he's at the top, captaining the ship, if you will, it doesn't matter who else is there. And it's frustrating. And so I guess the only way we can change that, Whitey, is over time. Let's see what Scott Perry does. Let's see what Doug does. Let's see if the team can compete. But I get 18 years of futility, 19 years of futility, one winning, playoff season over the last 19, if you will. And so I get it. But damn, it's negative, man. That and thank you to some people on the text line. It's 916, a new respected, experienced GM, DC given a real chance, having the talent to be a true fringe playoff contender, some cap space and picks. We can do it. It's like so negative around.
Check that phone number. Make sure you didn't send that.
I know, but here's the problem. It's like we get enough, in my opinion, shade, hate from outside Sacramento, Golden State, Hollinger, Kevin O'Connor. We get enough. We're making fun of our own selves here, too. And maybe it's a coping mechanism or whatever it may be, but it's kind of depressing, man.
Jeffrey Simpton, pardon me, back with us, says you would think the best fans in the NBA would be able to weather a rebuild. 4 more years in purgatory would be more intolerable to true fans. For many, many true fans, Jeffrey, but I do think there are a lot of fans, again, whose business the organization relies on. I think there are more casual fans who might not have the patience for a long rebuild, tanking. I don't know. And I do think there's a path where you can do a little bit of both. So, but I understand your point. And to your point, Drapes, it's pretty clear to me, and we've talked about this, a lot of Kings fans, I think the fan base at large just feels like they were let down over the last couple of years. And I think they feel like, wait a minute, what is this? You're going to have to show us, you owe us something, and you're going to have to show us what's going on here, because people were just so bitterly disappointed. I'm sure everybody in the organization was, but the letdown is something that fans are still dealing with right now.
Yeah, they're still hurt at the way, not only this season, but the last 2 seasons, like how quickly it crumbled out here.
Because they feel like, we had the patience for all that time. Then you gave us a little cookie, and you snatched it away.
Yeah.
You gave us broccoli at the end, and asparagus.
And nothing wrong with sauteed broccoli. I'm a big sauteed broccoli guy. But no, I
roasted. You ever have roasted?
Oh yeah, I throw it in the pan with a little oil on there or something. Yeah, 100%. I might do that tonight, as a matter of fact. No, I just think when it comes to the Kings, and there's enough reason to be frustrated with the organization. With that being said, I could argue this roster is better than over the last 3 years, the most talented the Kings have been in the last 20. And so, like I said before, 40 wins, not what we wanted. But given everything, I'm optimistic that the feeling won't be as bad this upcoming season. We may not win 50 games. I understand that. We may not be top 4. But I'm a firm believer. I think we should be better than what we were this season.
Here's what I think a lot of fans are saying, and if they are saying this, I agree with them. A lot of fans look at this roster and say, this is a roster that's built to win now, but they're not going to win that many games now. To your point, you say maybe if you keep it together, maybe you do win more. But I think a lot of people feel like this is like a low 40s win roster, and it's a win now team. Why do you want to do that? Rightly or wrongly, that's how a lot of fans feel, and I understand that frustration.
Yeah, but it's I get it. If you're win now, but how many teams are win now in the NBA? I'm gonna go back and take a look at the standings, because to me it's all about building, growth, but sometimes that doesn't manifest itself in the box score, in the standings, Whitey. You look at Denver under Michael Malone. They actually took a step back before going in and actually winning the title. And so if I'm Sacramento, all right, for instance, Chicago Bulls 39-43. But you could argue they got some pieces in their building.
Yeah, last year they sent guys to the Kings, and that's when it looked like they were starting to get a little younger.
Yeah, and
they made the play-in anyway.
I'm looking at, and Memphis was 48-34. I feel like they may have overachieved, to be honest with you. 48 wins, that's pretty damn good. To me, Memphis is probably a 46-win team. We're probably 44-46. And my thing is, and this goes back to Jeff Simpson, on the text line.
Why do you say it like that?
No, because the guys, he's just, I don't know. He's rubbing me the wrong way today. He's rubbing, but
I'm Team Simpson.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You just want to be anti-Kyle. I see how it is right now.
I think he said something nice about me earlier.
Oh, that's all it takes to be Whitey's guy. No, but I look at the Kings, and we talked about this last week. How about 3 to 4 years of just consistent good basketball? Like 44 wins, 46. And I'm not saying just run it back with the same team for the next 3 years. You make tweaks, you get draft picks, you make trades, everything like that. We're just begging to be relevant now.
It's just so unfortunate, the timing of it, at a time when people are looking for something to look forward to and get excited about, and you don't have a first-round pick.
Right.
And I understand why. And, the Herter trade.
We had to get that through.
That's one of the things I think people would start to get more excited about this year, and you just don't have one.
It's understandable. If we did have one, to your point, we probably would be a little bit more excited.
Yes.
If we had the number 12 pick or 13 or whatever it would have been. But as you said earlier, we don't. Nothing you can change. Got to live with it. To me, I look at, honestly, this year for the Kings almost as a bridge year, Whitey. I said preach patience earlier on. Like, Scott Perry may not be able to do the moves he wants right now. And so this may be run it back, maybe a tweak, 42, 43, 44 wins, hopefully, at least. And then next off season.
When's your coffee with him?
The 10th, next week, next Tuesday.
Okay.
Bright and early, 8:30. Let you know how that goes.
Yeah. You should take Simpton with you.
Simpton. He got all the answers, I'm sure. He got all the answers.
My God. Ding dong, the super team is dead. We're back with that on Sacktown Sports.
The Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, athletics, and Republic FC with the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit sacktownsports.com to join.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy, and oh my goodness, I'm born and raised here. I know it gets hot, but my goodness, we're already seeing 100-degree days. Listen to me. You do not want your system to conk out in the middle of June or July or August with one of those big 100-degree stretches. You want to make sure you're good all summer long. And my friends at American Energy Heating and Air can do that with a $24.50 tune-up right now. That's half price. And if you need a new system, $3,500 off, up to $3,500 off in rebates for qualified systems. They've been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call them right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the lake or clean out your closet?
RV wins!
Putting the dishes away or taking the RV camping?
RV wins!
Cleaning the fridge or taking a trip to the beach?
RV wins!
You might want to clean the fridge real quick because, mold.
We clean out the fridge, then take the RV out.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states and situations.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sinks overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Another 39-inch classic. There will be
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
A few years ago, I was doing an interview on a Bay Area station with Michael Thompson and my buddy Ray Ratto. And it was right about when the whole Kyrie, Harden, Durant thing was falling apart. And I said, the super teams are dead. And they were both saying, no, they're not. Teams are, especially Michael Thompson with the Lakers, oh, teams are always going to have super teams. And then he said something to me like, Ray is Michael Jordan. You're just Will Purdue. So what do you know? So, yeah. But then we had Steve Kerr on that day, and he said, no, you're like B.J. Armstrong. So I was like,
our guy B.J. Armstrong. Cool. Okay.
But that was years ago. And now we have Miles Turner. Hear what he said yesterday. He said, I think it's a new blueprint for the league, man. I think the years of the super teams and stacking, it's not as effective as it once was. Since I've been in the league, this NBA is very trendy. It just shifts
But the new trend now is just kind of what we're doing. OKC does the same thing. Young guys get out and run, defend. The whole super team, and it depends on your definition. But if it's a team like getting this veteran, that veteran, or 2 or 3 guys going, let's join up together, like the bunch in Miami. I don't know that we're going to see much of that anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. I think the new wave is you got to have your guy, or 1 or 2 guys. But then, like the 3 through 7 are all kind of interchangeable. Like there's not much drop off.
Yeah.
The problem with super teams, and we see this in Phoenix, is their top guys are really good, but then the drop off is massive.
Right.
I think you look at Indiana, you got Pascal and Tyrese, really good, but then 3 through 8, whatever, balance, depth. And so I think that's the way to go. That's the problem with the Lakers right now. LeBron and Luka, really good, but the drop-off is so dramatic.
You're so right. That point really was driven home to me when I was watching the Lakers play Minnesota.
Yeah.
And McDaniels fouled out, and it's like, and then there's Nickeil Alexander-Walker. It's like, they got another
guy that can fill in and do things. And so as it relates to the Kings, we got a number of issues.
They're a long ways from that.
We're a long ways. But, if you're Scott Perry, as you try to, are there like the Jake LaRavias of the world, the Keon Ellis of the world,
that again is why I think Keegan is so important. The whole
thing. Keegan. Those to me are guys like, Neesmith, like Ben Shepherd, Matherin, when you look at Indiana.
Were you in Boston when Neesmith was there?
I believe so.
Because he was just right?
Yeah, they let him go. I got to look it up. Or he may have just been drafted.
He was drafted in 20.
Yeah, see, I had just left.
Okay.
I left December of 20. Okay. That was COVID year, so I had just missed him. I was there when they drafted him, but never got to see him play. And so, and give him credit because he's worked and, made himself. But Indiana, Miles Turner is good. Obi Toppin, like there's not a whole lot of drop off. And so if I'm Scott Perry, I'm like we've talked about last week and you and Jay pointed out, yes, you're looking for your guy, but you're also looking for 5 or 6 guys that could be good, solid rotation players. And I think LaRavia is that type. I think Keon's that type. You have some pieces, I think, that you want to keep around as you retool.
And what's really dangerous about your big 3, if you're going that route, like you said, the Suns, if one of them is hurt all the time or just doesn't play as well or doesn't fit, you're sunk. Like Bradley Beal hasn't been what they thought.
Right.
And so then you don't have depth because you can't. And then you have a year like they had last year. Jalen Williams of the Thunder, the one who's more productive, plays more Santa Clara. He said he saw the Miles Turner interview. He said, I was watching Miles Turner's interview. He made a really great point. I think teams that get along well and actually have good chemistry are starting to show more. I think the NBA is just naturally getting younger. I think we're in that transition now. I think it's cool. We have 2 small market teams playing in this big stage.
Yeah.
So there's a number of things he mentions there. It doesn't really necessarily have to be a small market team, but these young teams, and we mentioned it's the first time the finals have been without a taxpayer since they had the luxury tax. It does seem to be like a shift in the way things are getting done.
Yeah, I look at these young teams, and it sort of reminds me of like college teams. I think it was Eddie Johnson last week that said, you got to like each other. You got to hang out after, and I think, what we have been missing here in Sacramento, and I've said it before, we got 13 players and 13 different Ubers, everybody just, there's no, man, even on the road, guys staying up in their room or, they aren't bonding a whole lot. And so that has to happen more. You got to actually like being around your coworkers, your teammates out there if you want to be successful. And so I think that's what we're lacking. And I think when you look at Indiana and you look at OKC, just the joy they have for other success. How about that, Whitey?
It does seem genuine, and it's legendary what OKC does and everybody out on the floor for the interviews. But Indiana is not lacking in that area either.
No, not at all. Not at all. And, it's one thing I notice about Indiana. They empower each other.
Yeah.
Like they lift each other. like Thomas Bryant, and I was listening to Sirius XM NBA radio the other day, and one of the Pacers players was talking about Thomas Bryant, who's lost his spot in the rotation. But they said Thomas Bryant was the biggest cheerleader, the loudest cheerleader on the bench. Like, he was happy for whoever was in the game. Then he got his opportunity and took, like, that's what you need, you know? And not saying our guys aren't happy for each other, but there's a joy that you see when the Pacers are playing. Our guys don't look like they're having fun.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember this? I don't know how widely publicized this was, but a few years ago, I think it was 2023, the year after or the year before the Warriors won the championship. You know, and they had the 2 timeline plan. I think it was the year after they won the championship. And some of the veterans were unhappy because the younger players were not enthusiastic enough on the bench during games. They're not supporting
Really,
their
the younger players.
Yeah.
And some of the vets called him out on that.
Yes.
Yeah, was that during the season?
Uh-huh.
And maybe it changed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because and I've been around teams and players that are stewing, you know, about playing time. And, you know, you can feel it, you know? And our guys, and maybe it's because 5 new players at the deadline, everything, it almost felt like at the end of the season, we can't wait to get this over.
Right. I have to think a lot of this, Jay Drapes, dear listener, a lot of this with OKC and Indiana, the organizations were fortunate. Some of the stuff you can't, we're going to go out and get a bunch of guys that get along great. You know, you hope that happens, but it's
kind of organic, right?
It's organic, and some of it's just luck.
Yeah.
So, you know, as other teams look at it and go, how can we replicate that? Some of it you really can't. You can try, but there's no way to guarantee it.
It's like gumbo. You got all the ingredients, but might not always turn out the same. You giving me that?
No, it's interesting. You're making me hungry.
I know.
I thought you're going to go a little in depth there.
No, I'm about to go get my Cheez-Its here during this next break. I'm going to go down to the vending machine. No, but
you ever had alligator gumbo?
No. You've had that?
I had alligator something in New Orleans once, but
you don't know what it was?
I don't remember.
Alligator something. No, you're making me want to go to New Orleans now, man. No. But back to the Kings and just getting that together. I think coaching has a lot to do with it, you know. And one thing I will applaud Doug. I feel like he tried to have outings for the team's team bonding activities. I think that needs to, if I'm a coach and I know these guys are making close to $50 million, I'm saying, hey, during the off season, 1 week, everybody gather where DeMar is at. 3 weeks later, everybody gather where Domas is at. Like, building a champion doesn't start when you first arrive for training camp. It happens in the off season.
Right. It's like rebounding. If you wait until the shot misses to do your work, it's too late.
Too late. You're already out of position. Somebody already moving. So if you're the Kings, if you're waiting till September 25th or whatever date it is this year, it's kind of too late. And that's, but who's taken it? Because I forget who we had on. Might have been somebody we had. I can't remember if it was on or if I was on the golf course talking to somebody. But who's the guy saying, hey, June 10th, we all meeting here. Come on, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if our guys are doing that.
I believe Scott Perry has the wherewithal to pull that off. I think he's genuine and understands it. He's not just giving lip service to the idea of culture. Doesn't mean he can pull it off. Doesn't mean he can get the players. But I think he's better equipped to do it than any GM that we've had in a while. And I'm a Monty guy. I know he wasn't perfect. I thought he did some really good things. You look at the draft picks the Kings have to work with. Monty deserves some credit for that. But when it comes to building a culture and what goes into that, I think Scott Perry is pretty well equipped to pull that off.
Yeah, I think so because, you know, with Monty, and I hate comparing the two, but it is what it is. Monty, I guess Scott Perry seems like a leader, a guy that's in control. And when you have a culture, when you're trying to build, that has to happen. Like, look at Monty and Mike Brown. I could argue Mike was the culture setter more so than Monty. Now it seems like Scott Perry's going to be the culture setter. You know?
He just seems really comfortable with people and wanting to engage
Yes.
in people, knowing that
I'm going to give you some, and I'm going to get some from you.
How about
if we
this,
just,
Whitey?
Engage.
Real quick.
I want diversity of thought, but with unity of purpose.
And don't forget my podcast.
Yes, I know. I'll say this about Scott Perry. Got a text from the Kings. This is a few weeks ago. Hey, Kyle, Scott Perry wants to do coffee with you. Like, he's already out there reaching out and trying to, and so that's what a leader does.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm looking forward to that, man.
Mm-hmm. I think Dave's having his before yours.
Ooh. Well, I got a radio show. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. You can have his. Go for it. Say the best for last.
There you go. We'll come back and look at this Giannis to the Raptors thing. Does that make any sense? It might. Next, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, UC Davis, and Sac State with the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit sacktownsports.com to join.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
Participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location. Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co. LLC. Used with permission.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes a pizza lover starter kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Thanks for being with us on this Monday. It started out as kind of a Gripe Fest Monday, but I think we're approaching the end of the show in a much more positive spot. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We just said stuff like you. We had to get off our chest today. Drapes had an incident, at Starbucks in the drive-thru. I was angry at the scorekeeping yesterday in the A's game, and Jay had some issues over the weekend. It happens. We all have issues, so thank you for sharing some of that. But we vent. We end up in a more positive place, hopefully, as we continue to try to figure out how the Kings can turn this thing in a more positive direction. We also talked today to Doug Smith, and the reason we talked to Doug Smith, and thank you, Jay, for lining this up, and I know he's your guy, Drapes. Doug Smith covers the Raptors for the Toronto Star. And there has been a lot of speculation and shadowy reporting and actual reporting that we've heard the last couple of days about the Toronto Raptors and what's going on with the Raptors and Giannis and what's going on with the Raptors and Domantas Sabonis. Well, Doug Smith told us as far as Domas goes. What do you say, Drapes? I haven't heard anybody with the Raptors mention Domas's name in a year and a half. So, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So we got that. Yeah.
I'm chewing.
Well, we're on the radio. If you're chewing, stay in the lounge. You put your headphones on and sit at the microphone. I can't talk. What are you eating? Pretzels?
Something over there.
Yeah, it's kind of dry. Pretzels here. Mini pretzels.
Take your time.
This is a new ad to the vending machine.
What's the brand?
Snyder's of Hanover.
Okay.
Not
that
local.
Sounds classy.
Yeah, these are my favorite too. They're the mini size, like the little ones,
Yeah.
And this is my weakness in life. I mean, I got some other things, but this, when it comes to food, like,
I used to sell pretzels. I know pretzels.
Oh, got 2 packs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 2 bags full of Snyder's from Hanover's Pretzels. So anyway.
All right, where we
at?
at?
We're going to hear what he had to say about the Giannis stuff, which is interesting. But as far as Domas and Toronto, you may see or hear some stuff, and then people are kind of running with it. And I get it. That's what we do. Is somebody mentioned Domas and Toronto. Hey, maybe a trade would look like this. But Doug Smith said, I haven't heard anybody with the Raptors mention Domas in a year and a half. So have your fun, but
he shot that down. That's pour cold water on it, which is good.
Yeah. Ice cold Toronto water.
Ooh, yeah. Still cold
way
up
up
there.
North.
What's up there? Lake Michigan.
Now, it is
up
water
there.
that Jay had to pay for.
You ain't lying.
Jay's still upset about that. He's still upset about it. But it's good to have somebody with boots on the ground that actually knows. Not this guy that works in Dallas talking about Toronto. What's his name?
Jake Weinbach.
Jake Weinbach. His location is Dallas, and he's trying to weigh in on Toronto Raptors stuff.
Some of it's on him and some of it's on us because he didn't really say anything. So if we're going to assume anybody's going to read that the Raptors are a team to keep an eye on, they might ask about Domas. If we're going to look at that and go, oh, it's on, then that's on us.
Right.
But we also asked Doug Smith about, and this was much more
more substance to it,
much more substantial. Brian Windhorst talking about Toronto maybe going after a big fish. And we asked Doug Smith because he said there's mutual interest. Doug Smith said today, mutual interest between the Raptors and Giannis. So we asked him how deep that mutual interest may go.
It goes way deep. It's like Masai Ujiri and Giannis have had a relationship for, 18 years, a long time. They've been around and known each other forever. The Raptors were chasing him in 21 when he was a free agent. There's a deep relationship there. And if the Raptors are going to hit a big home run, they're going to go after that guy. And Giannis is a guy that, we keep hearing that he would like to stay in the East if he wants to leave Milwaukee. But he's got he's beloved in Toronto. It's a great city for him, and it's in the Eastern Conference. It's a pretty good young team.
So the big question there after hearing that is, does Doug Smith have birds or was he outside?
Man, I was thinking about that too. Man, he got the hummingbirds around the house.
Because I started thinking he's outside, but then I think he might have
You think he got some inside
a budgie
pets
or something?
Okay.
Yeah,
maybe if he in an aviary or whatever it's called. He's out there.
I was going to ask him about it, but some people laugh, but other people get, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and I didn't want to. I didn't care.
I didn't hear it the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but just on the replay, I was like, "Damn, that's pretty loud." They were like right there.
Botanical gardens.
What do you think? You think he was outside, or do you think he has birds in the house?
Let me check the weather out there in Toronto right now.
I think he's got birds.
You think so?
Yes. I would say parakeets.
Jay, you may have to hit him back. And be like, you got birds or not? Let me.
I think he has 2 parakeets.
So hold on. He came on at 4:30.
Yeah,
so that's 7:30 our time.
He had just got back. He had told me he went on a drive with the family.
Ooh, so he had just got back home.
He just got back to the house. So he might have been outside.
Nah, he was on his back porch. That's
Really?
what he was. Yeah, that's what he was. Jay, get to the bottom of that. An hour ago. Doug, you were on with us an hour ago. Where were you at
What do
that
you
time?
think? Jay, what's your call?
I'm saying he was on the back patio too.
Yeah.
He was sitting outside.
What do you think? Wait, you think he got birds?
Yeah, he's got 2 parakeets or budgies. Yeah, at least
I'm texting that. I'm texting that.
Find that out, Jay. We got to get to the bottom of this. But he said there's real interest, mutual interest, if you will. I'll be honest, if I'm the Kings, keep Giannis as far as hell away from the Western Conference as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes sense for him to go to the East, Toronto, an international city. And they got some pieces, man. They got some pieces out there in Toronto.
I could see, I'm making a huge assumption here, but I could see how a guy like Giannis would look at the situations and say, if I go to the Warriors, people are going to say I'm teaming with Steph. And I love Steph, but I want to make a mark with a team where people are going to look at me and go, wow, he helped that team get over the top.
I agree. And here's the thing, too. Wherever, and Giannis is great. But to your point, if he goes to the Warriors, Steph is still Steph. Lakers, still LeBron, Luka. Like whoever it may be.
Or even Boston or something. I don't even know if that's possible.
And so Toronto I would imagine if I'm Milwaukee, I'm including Scotty Barnes in this deal. Then it becomes Giannis's team. He's the guy up there. It makes sense, though. Toronto makes a lot of sense for Giannis, I think.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Let's talk to Mark, who's been hanging on. Hey, Mark, you're on the drive, guys. How are you? What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What's up, Mark?
Yeah, I just wanted to. I overheard you guys talking about getting back Davion Mitchell. That's really that's extremely realistic. That is so realistic. I hope it happens. I think he got a bad rap when he was here. I thought that everybody was treating Keon Ellis like he was Ron Artest, and that wasn't the case. And I kept telling everybody, Keon's not a point guard. He's a good guard, but he's not a point guard. And I thought that the head people, everybody would have already have paid attention to that. And I think Davion was underrated in his talent. So I'm just happy to hear everyone talking about possibly getting him back. But I wasn't talking about giving him the keys. You guys were talking about giving him the keys. I think we have to pick up 2 point guards and 2 power forwards. One of them is Bobby Portis. I heard conversation about Bobby Portis possibly coming here. Okay, fine, good. I looked up Bobby Portis can still play basketball.
Yep.
And
he's got a Scott Perry connection too. Pardon me for interrupting, Mark, but he does. Yeah.
I'm sorry. What?
He has a Scott Perry and Portis have a history, so there is a connection there.
Oh yeah, I hope he comes.
Yeah.
Not to sound desperate, but come on, because Bobby Portis, in my book, Bobby Portis can replace Trey Lyles. He's better than Trey Lyles still.
Yeah.
And he can do everything that Trey Lyles does, but better. So I look at Bobby Portis like that, but we still need a starter. So if you want to start building a bench, that's great, realistic news conversation. If he's talking about that, you better have a point guard to lead your bench, and you have to have a starting point guard. I remember you guys were talking about Kyrie Irving. Hey, even if he fails, at least try.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
All right, Mark.
Davion just was not a good fit for Mike Brown or the offense they ran.
Yeah, 100%.
I've heard, and I don't know if this came from Mike or if it was just people guessing. I heard that, well, Mike doesn't like small guards. Davion's not.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but it was an offensive thing too, I believe. Remember, Davion's rookie year is when we traded for Domas. But we didn't start running the dribble handoff until that next year. So when we saw Davion at his best, the final 19 games of the season, De'Aaron was out. He averaged 18 points per game. Like, he was looking really good. He spent the offseason working on pick and roll and things like that and how to read the defense coming off the screen. And then all of a sudden, Mike Brown gets hired, Jay Triano, and the offense changes, and he never recovered.
Played some of the best basketball in his career in Miami, sinking a career-high level of threes. Last year, he made $6.4 million. So restricted free agent. So
here you go, Whitey. Davion, his rookie year. I got the numbers right here, looking at some of the splits. His rookie year, and remember, De'Aaron Fox missed some time. As a starter, Davion Mitchell, 18 points, 7.4 assists.
I like him.
That's pretty damn good. That is pretty damn good. You know, didn't hit the 3, but that's something he obviously worked on and is a much better 3-point shooter.
Much better.
Yeah, so, I mean.
He made himself a good 3-point
yes,
shooter.
Yes, he has. Like, damn, he was averaging 18 and 7. And I'm saying he's going to replicate those numbers, but he showed something. And then the offense changes and he just loses out on it.
How much of your mid-level would you be willing to offer?
I think you may have to give him the full mid-level. I think so. And same thing with Bobby Portis too. If we decide to pivot and go that, he has a player option at $13 million, I think it is. He's looking to get a little longer contract.
The full being what, 14-1?
14-1. Yep. So that's the problem though. If you're the Kings, you got multiple needs. Point guard, power forward.
You have to
prioritize. Backup power forward. Yeah, you got to prioritize.
Even if you prioritize, you may find out you want that guy more, but you can't get that guy. So
right. I wouldn't be shocked if Trey Lyles is back on a short contract, a 2-year deal. Just because if you're prioritizing point guard, then you re-sign Trey just as a stopgap.
He had some big games down the stretch.
He did.
Jay, we have anything on Birdgate?
Let's see here. Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. Well, we may have the answer when we come back. Also, Whitey's Wayback Machine quiz.
Yeah.
We had a tie on Friday.
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah. Who will be victorious today? We find out next on Sacktown Sports.
Carmichael Dave here, Father's Day, June 15th, and Timber Creek just handed you the perfect gift idea. Now through Father's Day, when you stop by the pro shop, it's buy 2 dozen, get 1 free on select Srixon golf balls. Yeah, Z-Star, Q-Star, Soft Feel, all the good stuff. So whether you're shopping for dad, or let's be honest, you are the dad, this is your sign to stock up and get back out there. Best part, you're doing it at Sacramento's top-rated course, Timber Creek and Sierra Pines. Deal ends Father's Day, June 15th. Go get them.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. SubcontractorsUnited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Giant Summer Sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
And I see a pretty girl, she wants me, I want her.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Couple of quick attendance notes. Great attendance, poor attendance. Congratulations. I know this is going to rub a lot of Monarchs fans the wrong way, but the Valkyries, will they have 3 games now with more than 18,000 people at Chase? Wow. Okay. Well, why do you put
just something new? It's just something new.
Yeah.
It's a new shiny car.
Mad because I asked him a question when he's eating his. Sorry. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Was it 3 or 2? Do you remember?
3 home games.
3 home games. Yeah. And then I just saw this picture. Thank you. Somebody sent me this picture. Jay, I'm sorry I can't show this to you, but you wouldn't believe this. This is first pitch in Miami, Marlins and Rockies. First pitch. There might be 600 people there.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
There's no more.
I'm looking at that picture also now.
Yeah. And we can't see the upper deck behind home plate, but.
Damn. I thought 3,000. Now that I look at the picture, you're right. Wow.
There.
And this is the Marlins, like in Miami. So it's not like it's Tampa, on a different stadium.
There's like 700 there, maybe.
They ain't feeling it. They're not feeling them either. Remember that the city of Miami got deeped.
Right.
To build on that new stadium, and they didn't like it at all.
Coming out on a Monday night and see the Rockies play.
Yeah, right.
Oof.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So I don't know. Attendance is probably going to be down tonight at Sutter Health. Who knows? Who cares? It's time now for Whitey's Wayback Machine quiz for June the 2nd, brought to you by Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. Now, I believe Jay had the belt Friday, and we had a tie.
Jay got it.
Overtime.
Jay got it.
So Jay is still
I'm
really
looking at
good.
the picture.
Isn't it incredible?
Ooh, it looks like they're just practicing. Look like just practice, and they just invited a few family members come out and check the game out.
Or like,
wow.
Yeah, we're gonna open the park up because the crew has to come in and clean out from under the seats.
Wow,
that's bad.
That is terrible.
Don't blame him, though.
Wow. Yeah.
Right,
No,
That's why
absolutely.
you, as Major League Baseball, it's incumbent upon you. It's incumbent upon you to put a Major League product on the field that
Exactly.
people are going to pay to see. Rockies are abysmal.
And the fans, guys, they speak with their wallets,
Right.
and their cards. And
But will baseball ever listen? Will they ever listen, Drapes? Whitey's Wayback Machine Quiz brought to you by Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. Jay is up first today. Here's what we have today, Jay. We have this date, what year in the MLB draft. We have this date, what year in near perfect games. As far as the years, we have 58, 85, 95, and 96. Where would you like to begin, champ?
What was before 96?
We have 58, 85, 95, and 96.
Oh, 1995.
1995.
Tom Glavine.
It's multiple choice.
Tim Merker.
What baseball team this
Steve
day,
Avery.
1995, drafts catcher Tom Brady in the 18th round? The Expos, the Padres, or the Mariners?
Ooh.
He would go on to have a fair to middling football career. This date, 1995, what baseball team drafts Tom Brady in the 18th round? The Expos, the Padres, or the Mariners?
I think it was the Mariners.
Final answer?
That's final answer.
Sorry, that's not correct,
Ah.
Jay. Over to Kyle Draper. What baseball team this day, 95, drafts catcher Tom Brady in the 18th round? The Expos or the Padres?
Catcher they had, man?
Yeah.
Damn.
He played catcher in high school.
Really? Okay.
Big son of a gun. Big target back there.
What year was this?
1995.
95? I'm going to go with
He was drafted out of high school.
Yeah.
Padres.
Padres is not correct.
Damn, I knew
It was
it.
the Expos.
I knew it was the
I
Expos.
remember that.
I knew it.
0-0 over to Kyle Draper.
Psych myself
I
out.
read that he was drafted. Didn't remember the team.
This day, what year in the MLB draft? This date, what year in near perfect games? 58, 85, 96, hike.
85.
1985. It's a closest to.
Yeah, Jay can go first.
All right, Jay. This date, 1985, Kareem
Ooh, Skyhook.
becomes the all-time leader in points scored in the playoffs.
Ooh, the
wow.
He currently ranks third. How many of the top 10 players in NBA playoff scoring never played for the Lakers? Of the top 10 players all-time playoff points scored, how many of those top 10 never played for the Lakers?
Current playoff
Yeah, all
scoring.
time.
Not
All-time.
when Kareem. Like, okay.
Right. He was
Well, as
number
of
one. Now
right
he's
now.
third.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as of right now,
Yeah. if you
top
look at
10
the top
players.
10, how many of those 10 never played for the Lakers?
Okay.
I know it'd take you a
Yeah,
minute
you
got
got to calculate, kind of think who's in the top 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just getting started.
Oh, we got plenty of
Nobody's
time.
Wayback Machine quiz.
Today.
0-0. 1985, Kareem became the all-time leader in points scored in the playoffs. He's currently third. So how many of the top 10 players in NBA playoff scoring never played for the Lakers?
Ooh, never played for the Lakers.
Jay will have his guess. If he doesn't nail it, then Drapes will try to get closer. We'll see if we can get some points
Yeah.
scored in this match.
I think I'm going to say the problem is if I say either one, Drapes is going to go.
Unless you nail it.
Come
Yeah.
on, Jay. You might get it right. You
I-
got a 10% chance.
I got 3. I'm going to go 4. No, 3.
3?
Yep.
All right. Kyle Draper?
Ah.
4.
4 is correct.
I knew it.
Malone, Durant.
No, Malone played for the Lakers.
Yeah, he played for
that's
the
right,
Lakers.
excuse me.
Yeah.
Durant.
It's MJ, Duncan,
MJ.
KD, and Curry.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I missed the. Dang. I had
You had it
Steph.
right
I
there.
had KD.
When he changed it, I was like,
yeah,
yes.
I had KD. I had MJ. I had the 3. Man, I forgot about Malone and the Lakers.
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
one that
that's
threw
the
me.
one,
yeah.
Him and GP that year, huh?
Yep.
Dang.
KD leading 1-0. Back to you, Jay. This date, what year in the MLB draft? This date, what year in near perfect games? 1958, 1996.
Oh, these baseball
1958.
There's not a lot of basketball going on in June. 1958?
Yep.
Okay. It's the closest to.
Okay, let Drapes go first.
Kyle Draper, this date, 1958. Brooks Robinson hits into a triple play. He hit into a triple play more times than any other player in baseball during his Hall of Fame career. How many times did Brooks Robinson hit into a triple play more than anyone else in baseball?
Really? Still currently?
Yes.
More than anyone?
Yes. He's no longer with us,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Damn, I have no idea on this one.
You ever hit into a triple play, Jay?
Never.
I did once.
Really?
Hit and run, first and second, right over second base, second baseman covering.
Okay.
Boom, boom, boom.
Tap,
Good night.
tap, tap.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 13 times.
13 times?
Oh, no, 12, because it's got to be like 4 or something.
It is exactly
Is it 4?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's 4.
All right,
yeah.
all right.
We're
Brooks
all
Robinson
even.
played for a long time, too.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah, that's a lot of times to
Yeah.
hit into a triple play.
That is.
So it's 1-1. Over to you, Kyle Draper. This
Yeah,
date
okay.
what year in the MLB draft? This date what year in near perfect games? 1996. 1996. You like this basketball?
Finally.
Multiple choice. This date 1996. Kemp and Payton combined for 46 to lead the Seattle Sonics to a Game 7 win in the Western Conference Finals. Over what team? Remember, they went on to play the Bulls, and they lost. But they won the Western Conference Finals over what team in 1996 on this date? Phoenix, Lakers, Utah. Utah's correct.
Yeah, Jay. Come on, man. You're dealing with drapes here,
Oh,
baby.
this Karl Malone talking and his ass talk.
2-1, Draper. We still have 2 points left on the board. Back over to Jay. This day, what year in the MLB draft? This day, what year in near perfect games?
Go this year in the draft.
All right. This day, what year in the draft, Jay? The Mariners used the overall number 1 pick to choose Ken Griffey Jr. You can let Drapes go first if you want on this.
Can I have the question again?
Sure. The Mariners, this date, and you haven't decided yet what you want.
No,
to
yeah.
Right? Yeah. But I'll read it to you. This day, what year in the draft? The Mariners used the overall number 1 pick on Ken Griffey Jr.
I think I know it.
You want to let Drapes go, or you want to
Come on, Whitey.
swing at it? We'll take a whack at it.
Man, I'm going 1987.
So you're going to guess?
Yeah, that's right.
It is correct.
Yeah.
He's got it. Ah, well done.
Damn, Jay. Nice one.
And he had 19 home runs his rookie year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's 2-2 over to you, Drapes. 1 left. If somebody's going to score here because it's a this day what year. So we will have a winner.
Okay, what you got?
You get to hear it. You can decide who goes first. This day what year in near perfect games? A bad call at first base with 2 outs in the 9th by Jim Joyce.
He knows this one. He knows this one.
A perfect
He could go first.
You want to go first, Jay? If he gets it, he wins.
I have no idea.
Okay, all right. Remember, Jim Joyce was in tears.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
And it was a bad call.
It was
wasn't
terrible.
Like,
Yeah, it was terrible.
let's go to review.
Man.
This day, what year? Bad call at first base. 2 outs in the 9th by Jim Joyce. Cost Armando Galarraga of Detroit a perfect game.
20.
It's 2-2. This point will determine the winner.
17.
2017.
That's right.
It's not correct.
Oh.
But you can still win the point.
Can I hear the question, please?
Drapes, this day, what year? Bad call at first base with 2 outs in the 9th by Jim Joyce. Pardon me. Cost Armando Galarraga of Detroit a perfect game. What year? Jay says 2017.
I'm thinking 2018. Do I psych myself out or go 2015? Jay might be. And what Jay said, what year?
Jay went 2017.
Oh, 2016.
2016. It was 2010.
What? It was that? Man, where have I been at?
Congratulations, Kyle Draper.
Where have I been?
Back where I belong, on top of the throne, fellas. Where you been, Jay? Time flies, bro.
I know, man.
Time flies, man.
COVID just blew everything for me.
Yep.
Blew it up.
Yeah.
2010?
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn, I wasn't even.
Dude, I thought the way you were laughing and I'm like, oh, Jay got this one.
The first year that popped in my mind was 2014, 2015.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first one. So I always kind of manipulate +1 or -1. But I was like, I felt like I was in LA. So that's kind of where I went, but I went a little higher.
Nice work, Jay.
2010?
Yeah.
Man, where have I been?
That's a good one.
Yeah, June 2nd, 2010. I wanted to make sure.
No. You're right.
I wanted to make
it's
sure.
just my time.
Congratulations, Kyle Draper.
Man, that's weak. That's weak, man. That's
weak.
weak. I done held the belt for like 3 weeks.
Another hard-fought match.
Hey, man. I'm back. I'm well rested. Had a nice weekend. Happy to be back where I belong, on top.
Damn Karl Malone and the Utah Jazz. Well, I forgot about Malone and the Lakers that quick. I had 3. I said Malone didn't play 4, 3. I know that was
because you said 4, then 3.
Yeah, I don't remember that ever happening before, where someone gave the correct answer, then corrected
themselves.
Second. Yeah. How are you going to get through the next few nights without any basketball? What are you going to be?
Well, I'm about to go hit some golf balls now, so go figure that out. That's a great question. Yeah, I'll probably go to Hagen because it's close here. It's going to be packed, though. That place always packed. But
have they switched to summer hours yet, Drake?
I don't know. I haven't been out there. I haven't been out there in a minute.
And then let me follow that up. Do they still do like the 24-hour thing?
No, I think it's only the 12. Now.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's only
that was a win, man. They used to have like fireworks and stuff out there. Go out there 3 in the morning. Yeah,
show movies.
Really?
Did they really?
I think they have. Yeah, that's a place to do a show from.
Yes, sir.
Gotta set that up. What we waiting on?
Set up. Hey,
our boy Tom Morton. Hey, Jay, like, it's out of our control.
Yeah. All right. Have fun. Hit them straight. You work on. You just get the driver out. You know, Frank LaRosa on an episode of Golf to Go said the best way to prepare for a round is if you hit driver, then you hit 7
Yeah,
iron.
that's how you're supposed to do it.
But
that's not how you do it. I start with the pitching wedge just to get loose.
That's right, yeah.
And then I go through my irons, and then I rarely hit my driver on the range.
Really?
Yeah, because I hate the little rubber tees, and so it's not real for me. I don't know. So I rarely hit the driver.
Yeah. My grandfather used to have a persimmon wood driver. And, when I started playing golf again, I took it out. And I thought, this is going to be great to hit this. And it was very special with my grandfather's. And so I take it out there, I tee it up. The thing just exploded.
Oh, you ruined your grandfather's driver.
Yes, the club.
Nice work, Whitey.
I should have probably seen that coming.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks
hilarious.
for being with us. We've got Infinity Sports Radio next on Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The